Audubon 2456.
Stay the Save is back with a one-shot special of the game Tacoma. Once again, Tanner is joining me for this game club. Welcome again, Tanner, to Stay the Save.
Hi, Michael, and I'm glad you renewed my contract for another year so I get to spend more time with all these people I know and love. Oh no, an accident.
I didn't know where you're going with that. You sounded very robotic, so I didn't know if you were going to be an AI, Tanner.
Michael, that was insulting. That was just me being me.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, I mean, look,
I'm sorry.
AIs... Listen, we've got two strikes going on with AIs at the forefront, and we've got a lot going on with AIs. I mentioned this before. I love that we followed up Battle Network with this because it weirdly connects to each other in terms of a little bit of the theming.
This is a very good connection to Mega Man Battle Network, which was more... Mega Man Battle Network is a bonkers, kind of optimistic take on the all-digital future, while this is a much more corporate, grounded, realistic version of the digital future.
100%. It also fills the genre that Alien gets credit for starting, but really there's a John Carpenter movie called Dark Star that starts it, which is douchebags in space.
Douchebags
or
in
blue
space.
collar in space, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. Oh, there's a lot of, Alien in this game that I, want to touch on. But that's when we get to the game club portion. What we usually do first is we like to talk about games that we've been playing in our off time between shows. And speaking of which, I want to apologize for everyone for the late episode. My air went out, which kind of negates your ability to play games when it's the peak of summer and you have no air conditioning. But that's all fixed. I played the game. We are good. My dog is fine now, so we're all good.
Your dog sounded like they were having a blast based on what you just told me.
Yeah.
You guys got to stay at someone's house with a big yard.
Big yard, AC, another dog to play with. They were having a great time. They were mad when my dog was mad when I brought him home. They're like, "What? We had a good thing going. You sleep on the couch, and everything is fine."
Well, did you explain that you had a video game to play?
I told my landlord, I was like, the people need this Tacoma game club immediately. I need you to go and send the guy, expedite the part. I don't care if the order can't be made until after the weekend. You put that in now so I can play some Tacoma.
You're like, are you living under a rock? The people are crying for Tacoma. They demand it. There are strikes and riots in the streets for Tacoma, which, by the way, is a font, I would like to note. I mentioned that. It is a font while also being a city in Washington.
This makes it a more difficult game to Google than you would think.
Michael, I also, right before this, wanted to watch the launch trailer. I had to put so many filters. I was like, Tacoma trailer. No, not the truck. Tacoma trailer game.
I also got the truck.
I was like, no, Tacoma trailer game reveal. And it took me to, truck reveals. I had to scroll down before seeing that.
Truck reveals is a great concept.
I would love for Jeff Keighley to just do world premiere. And he publicly drives over that kid who interrupted FromSoft's accepted speech.
It's the Ford Lightning!
Let me demonstrate.
Oh, man. So, Tanner, what have you been playing?
I have been very busy between this and just some real-life stuff. But don't worry, I found time finally for Final Fantasy. Because I mentioned in Mega Man Battle Network Part 1 that I wanted to play 16 but didn't have the time, so I played Final Fantasy 14 patch 6.4. So, don't worry, I finally have had more time. Last night I played Final Fantasy 14 patch 6.45.
Woo! We're on to we're on to the thousandth digit.
Dude, we're getting okay, the patches are kind of weird now where they start coming out in these 0.05 increments as well as the big. Okay, I'm not gonna bore everyone with how Final Fantasy 14 patch works, but the point is the 0.5 stuff is usually, or the 0.05 is usually the side story. So this one was the big continuation of the Hildebrand comedy side quest, which is one of my favorite parts of all Final Fantasy XIV, especially because I just went into it like out of nowhere. I didn't know there was this big comedy side quest that was going to run through like all the expansions. And to the point that last night when I was playing it, I used the PlayStation Share function, uploaded a short clip to YouTube, and sent it to you to
Yes.
just be like, I just want you to know what I'm playing.
I'm going to explain this clip from my vague memory of waking up in the morning, seeing this message, and be like, all right, let's watch this thing. So, uh, hazy, tired morning Michael watched this clip, and now I'm going to explain it now, hours later. Alright, so you got a metallic skeleton Terminator head with eye lasers and a mouth cannon that's just all, causing all kinds of trouble. Then our band of heroes shows up, and there's like a crab thing that's also a bomb? So one of the members of the party has flashbacks to them playing basketball. And it's like, I love basketball. So now's her chance for a three-pointer. She lines up the three-pointer, shoots it into the mouth of the skeleton, except she misses. But I assume who is the main character of this game, who I'm going to call my OC, please don't steal, runs up and gets the rebound and slams dunks the ball Kobe style into the mouth of this skeleton, who then explodes. But also you have a guy in front who I assume is the quest giver, who gets shot by the skeleton man, who I don't think dies, but is like critically injured. And that is this 3-minute clip of this video game. Correct me if I missed out on something very important here.
No, I think you nailed it.
Okay.
I will just say that my OC was, yes, you are correct, that is my character. And I feel like you're saying my OC because I had them dressed like weirdly. I was playing the Red Mage class, which is like the like cool looking class, all right? Like cravats and cool hats and shit. So that is why they were dressed like that.
She looks like a Guilty Gear character, the guitar lady.
Oh my god, I did kind of have her dressed like I know from Guilty Gear.
It happens. These things
it happens to the best of us, honestly.
These things crawl into our subconscious, and then every character we make is the same. Yep.
Did I ever mention that, like, so Final Fantasy XIV had a Nier crossover raid, which I think you knew about too, that it had like the Nier crossover. And
I listened to the soundtrack to that, and it slaps.
And I think it's like canon within Nier. It's very bizarre. I gotta be honest, man, I haven't played Nier Automata. I did not like that particular quest line, because if you don't know Nier Automata, you're like, what the hell is happening at any moment? But when you beat it, you get 2B's thigh-high boots. Like her high-heel, thigh-high boots. And I decided to put them on my character, and I finally got to the point where I'm like, she would never wear that. Like, immediately, I've developed, like, a story for this character. I'm like, that doesn't speak to her. That's not her. Because I see people wearing those all the time, but I'm like, my character would, that is impractical, sir. She would not wear those in combat.
When I see everyone else wearing the same piece of gear, it immediately makes me want to change into something else.
Yeah, there was a point in one of these patches where, like, I remember I booted up the game right after the patch came out and went to, like, the current main hub, and everyone had, like, Doctor Strange portals behind them, because it was, like, the new weapon from, like, the raid you could get, like, the new skin, and I thought that was cool for, like, 5 seconds, and then I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But also, actually, as we're recording this, Final Fantasy XIV Fan Fest is happening. They announced the new expansion coming in the summer, which is kind of a long ways away, to be honest. I don't know. They've only got, like, 2 more story patches to get through to that, but I watched the trailer. Did you actually watch the trailer?
No, I did not watch the trailer.
That's fine. I figured you would, and that's fine. But I just wanted to note that they have mentioned, because Endwalker, the last expansion, was such a like big scale thing, that they were really going to need to like scale the stakes down a bit, which made sense. But this one is called Dawn Trail, I believe, and it straight up looks like the Vacation episode of an anime. It's like, here's all the characters going to this fun new island and having all sorts of misadventures. And while they might pull, do like they did with Heaven's Word, where it's like, actually, there's some dark shit behind all this. I don't know. The vibe to me was kind of off, and I'm a little worried that because this game is actually, I think, so popular now, and the characters are so popular, it makes them all safe. It's that thing where it's like they're never going to kill off the fan favorites and stuff like that. And the vibe I got was just like, they think the best way to like continue this is to just hang out with the characters, which can be fun, but like I don't know. I think that you need stakes. Part of what did get me hooked on 14 was that for the first couple of expansions, they were like killing people. Like they were killing some main characters, and I was actually kind of taken aback by it sometimes. But I don't know. I trust the team. Like this is still the same team, but little hesitant at how like, oh my god, we're all having fun at the beach. Let's do a swimsuit contest or whatever. Like
I mean, this is
that's
also this is the same team behind Final Fantasy 16. So I imagine these two things were in development
true.
around the same time. So I bet when you're making one epic big fantasy scale thing, I bet the other team is like, I don't know, man. Time for a beach filler episode, and yet people will
Dude,
love
that
it and buy all the skins to recoup
I
the
mean
development.
that makes sense. Especially that actually now that you say that, that reminds me of the story of like Spielberg shooting Jurassic Park, but having to wait for like the computer effects to be done, so he started shooting Schindler's List, and so he had this very weird like tonal shift every day where he would shoot Schindler's List and then like leave the set of like this Holocaust movie and then go look at CG renders of dinosaurs and like approve them or not.
Like,
And
okay,
it was just
almost there. We need some work on the scales of the T-Rex. It goes back. All right,
yeah.
Liam Neeson.
All right, Liam. Now, tomorrow you'll be taking them to the gas chambers, but I have to go look and see if the dinosaurs have feathers or not. Like, very, like, sorry to make that joke, but just very, like, what a total shift that had to be.
Oh man.
Anyway, you're right. Maybe they were going through something similar after 16. They were like, okay, let's just go to the beach. Let's just have a fun time at the beach. Also, like I said, I do love bringing 14 up on this podcast any chance I get, but I will only say that like apparently the two new classes they're going to add are going to be DPS. I'm not a fan of that. We need a new tank class real bad because I can't play Dark Knight and Gunbreaker forever. I want a new tank.
Healer.
No, never. The responsibility scares the shit out of me.
I always
And
play healer in like group like game like Overwatch. I'm always the healer because I'm like someone has to do it. I'm like a middle school teacher who doesn't want to teach middle school. It's just like, you know what? Everyone here is terrible, but someone has to shape these guys to be a good team.
well, it's fun. It's funny that most people when starting 14, myself included, will pick a DPS class. And so when you're looking for a group to do dungeons with, like story-based dungeons, it can take like half an hour to like 45 minutes if you're DPS because you got to find like a tank and a healer. If you're a healer, if you ever need to do anything, you are instantly in that dungeon. Like, and actually, to his credit, because I played, like I said, I played tank classes. For the most part, tanks are the same way, which I don't understand because I think a tank is pretty easy to play.
If you
But,
only have a certain amount of time to play video games, healer is great for anything because you can match into a game super fast. Like Overwatch,
Yeah, that actually, yeah.
Overwatch competitive, you match into a game in like 2 seconds.
100%. Whereas, like, man, I tried before Overwatch 2 launched, I tried playing a little Overwatch 1, and I liked playing like DPS, whatever they call it, but like DPS characters. It took like half an hour to find one match. I was like, this sucks. But yeah, man, I'm hoping Dawn Trail is cool, but I don't know, just a little bit worried that now they're going to be too cute with everything. And in fairness, again, maybe this is like we're taking a breather before getting to like some dark shit again. But
Okay.
I don't want them to be afraid to do stuff that will piss people off to an extent. That to me is like the bane of storytelling.
Yeah. I love stories that just come in with a hammer and just be like, everything you thought you knew was different now, get over it, get used to it.
Yeah, I sometimes I object to it, but I don't know. I want to continue to surprise me,
Yeah.
and which for the record is a very hard ask. I know that is like, a very hard ask, but I do think they'll be chasing that high of Shadowbringers for a long time because I think Shadowbringers really caught people off guard, and I do think they know that this can't be that right away, but we'll see.
CBU 3 is like just on another level right now when it comes to their success with this and how 16 really took off in such a way. I really want to play that game. That looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this game that is out. What I mean is I can't wait till I have time to play it.
Yeah, same. Or when it's on a sale, like another game I bought. I took advantage of a summer sale in a game that I was like really looking into. If you're done, if you weren't done, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm done. But I just want to note that like I sent you that clip to watch. I do want to note that the comedy side quest was very funny. It was very short but very funny. And Michael, I feel like asking you to watch that 3 minute clip is nothing compared to the Lovecraftian horrors you've been subjecting me to over the past like 2 weeks.
Okay, that's a good segue, a double segue, a tag team, if you will,
Oh God.
leading us to the game I, for some reason, decided to get. So, AEW Fight Forever is not the game I got. I was looking at that going, well, this seems cool. It's a lot more of an arcadey wrestling experience, but man, the creation tools aren't there. So I looked into the other wrestling game that was out, WWE 2K23, which was on sale, and I was like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. The review scores are in the 80s for the first time since like the 360 days. Maybe even
Hold
the
on,
PS2 days.
I was about to say I didn't realize that people actually like are enjoying this unironically. Like people are really enjoying this game.
Yeah, so short
Wow.
history, WWE 2K20 was an absolute trash fire of a video game. They took a year off, went to a different team to develop it. 22 was good, was a step in the right direction. People like this. 23 is a further improvement on that, so to speak. I haven't played on any of these games since the 360, so I'm just speaking what I know offhand. 23's review scores are in the 80s. There's still some glitches and hilarities that can ensue from it because it's like a more realistic wrestling game with like 200 characters and a bunch of different animations for special moves and everything. Things are gonna break, but it's fine. But what ultimately got me into this one was watching Dan Reichert from Giant Bomb's streams on this game, where he could seeing like all of the creation stuff that I loved as a kid growing up with wrestling games, from the make your own titles, insane make your own characters, you can make your own arenas, you can combine all of that, choose your own chyrons and your own animation graphics, and make your own wrestling show. Make your own pay-per-view events, customize your match types and everything. This is an insane toy box where, and you, if you're like, man, it's a lot of time and effort to like craft all of that. Here's the thing, most of the work is already done for you. If you go on the creation tab, you can look up any character that you want, any like image that you want, and download it from someone who has created themselves. For example, one of the top downloaded people is a perfect recreation of Robert Pattinson Batman.
Nice.
And he was my belt holder for a while. So you can download, I don't know, 100 characters.
He was your utility belt holder for a while?
Hey.
I don't remember if he has a utility belt in that movie, except when he pulls the bat logo out of his chest to use it as a knife.
He's very practical because he has like the grappling hook blades on his arm that he can just grab one if he needs to. I like that the elements of his bat suit, getting off topic here, I just want to note that like fucking I like the practicality of it, and also I don't know if any comedy last year made me laugh as hard as when he does like the bat flying shit with his weird little flying squirrel suit and just eats shit. He like hits a lamppost or whatever and just oh god, it was so fucking funny. Year one Batman when he's trying to figure out how to be Batman is great.
Yeah. I like that they did like year two. It's like, he's kind of figured it out. Anyway,
yeah.
Batman takes over.
So I have downloaded 100 characters, downloaded a bunch of rings and stuff, and there's an element of this game called My Universe mode where you can create basically all the foundations that you want to and just let the game create matches and you create show schedules. You make different shows, minor and major, for wrestling events that all lead up to pay-per-views. And the game, based on how matches go, will create rivalries, create like You can divide all the wrestlers and stuff into different divisions that will rise on ranks and everything. So you're basically setting up dominoes and letting the game run itself, essentially, like being a wrestling manager in a lot of ways. So what I did, something that made Eric especially really mad, was I kicked all the WWE wrestlers out and replaced them with my weirdos.
Nice, dude. You're actually really selling me on this game because I don't know who publishes this, but it almost feels like Warner Brothers was like, take the Nemesis system and put it in a fucking wrestling game.
This is 2K who does this.
Gotcha.
But
still,
it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to set up everything the way you want it to, because you got to create, once you have all the wrestlers, you got to create teams for the wrestlers. Which teams are they on? So naturally, I have the X-Men, and then I debate a lot. Me and my wife were going back and forth of like, okay, Wolverine, should he be on X-Force with Deadpool, or should he be in the X-Men? We decided X-Force because Deadpool and Wolverine as a tag team that people boo when they come out is just hilarious to me.
I do like that. I'm glad.
Yeah, and the announcers, you can choose how the announcers announce them. They announce them as Lucha House Party.
Nice.
Which is great. And you can make interesting... The toy box aspect to this insane video game is wild. I sent you a picture of Sub-Zero holding a belt made of the Infinity Stones in front of Cinderella's castle at Disney World.
Yeah, I had to like go out and look into the sunset after you sent me that. Because wasn't there one you sent that was like Moon Knight and Booster Gold?
Moon Knight and Booster Gold were going up for the tag team championship against Leon Kennedy and Chris Redfield.
Right, of course. What a great pairing, both of those. You get two Resident Evil guys, and then like a gritty street level guy from Marvel and a goofy DC sci-fi character. Yeah,
they formed a team. I put all the B tier superheroes on a team called the B list.
Nice.
It's them two, Gwenpool, Starfire.
I also think calling these characters B-list is being generous, to be clear. Not that I don't like them, but like calling Booster Gold anything above C-list is very kind to him.
He's the leader of the B-list. I think all his moves come from the wrestler The Miz, which has me very happy. Yeah, occasionally you'll get downloaded characters that don't have a lot of work put into them, but you can always go in and edit them. You can change their movesets, be like, I don't think they would do this. So you can be like, why does Batgirl do a stunner? I don't think she would do a stunner. I'm going to give her a new finishing move. And you can just go and alter stuff. You can make changes to their outfits. It's probably the most customizable game I've ever seen or played, and I put so much time into just the My Universe mode, and to the point where last night I was like, I'll actually play the tutorial and figure out how to play this game instead of just watching my AI matches.
Nice.
They're also, every year they do something called the My Showcase mode, which is kind of not a story mode, but it's like their mission objective based mode, like their event mode, and it's all centered around a theme. This year's theme is centered around John Cena's famous losses. So,
I don't know about this.
So John Cena does the narration, and he's talking about all the times that he's had really like devastating losses that shaped his career, and it's called Never Give Up, and how it kept him to keep persevering. And so like the first one is you're playing like his 2006 title shot against Rob Van Dam, and you're playing as Rob Van Dam, and all the missions are basically you gotta do the moves that were done in that match in order to get a perfect score. To recreate the match. And during the match, they'll like go to a cutscene and then do the cross dissolve into the real footage of the match, and then dissolve back into the game, and you're playing it again.
Okay, I understood everything except the names of the people you said.
Yeah,
I know who John Cena is, but like, I'm not familiar with wrestling. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I have a very basic knowledge of wrestling. I know it mostly from video games, and I haven't played a wrestling video game in a long time except Fire Pro Wrestling World, but that was just a create. I liked the sandbox stuff of that, but it was tied to a weird internet browser. All of this stuff is tied to in the game itself, all the creation stuff. So I'm having a blast just creating my weird, bizarre matchups. I did one. Right now, I'm in the middle of a pay-per-view event that is set in the hive from of Umbrella headquarters in Raccoon City.
Okay.
I
don't know why that's what. Yeah. Okay.
That event is called Global Saturization.
Nice. Good pick.
And we have I replaced the Elimination Chamber for that. So that's the big Elimination Chamber event for the women's title. Black Cat pulled it finally from Regina from Dino Crisis, which made me sad.
Good for Felicia Hardy, man. That's good for her.
She was a good word. She was consistently in like the top 5 like performing women wrestlers. Finally pulled it from Regina, who was just like an all-out hardcore wrestler. Won 2 fantastic Hell in the Cell cage matches. One against Sonya Blade, the other against Jean Grey as heel turn as the Phoenix.
Oh my! You know what? Actually, the way you put that, Phoenix. Like again, I'm not super familiar with wrestling, but Phoenix is such a fucking heel turn thing. That is like a fucking wrestling thing.
Comic books are all just wrestling. So the minute you accept that, the more fun you have. Like, okay, I'm gonna have Jean Grey have this big loss, and when she has this big loss, I have a costume ready for a heel turn switch. I'm gonna make her entrance where she comes out with a bat made of fire, with all the arena just like on fire, and she just comes out and just like walks towards the ring. And I changed her eyes to glowing. I gave her like magma coming out of her face. It's such a cool costume change, and I like the idea of. Then I boosted her stats all the way up to 100. Be like, no, now she's a threat. Now she's gonna climb the ladder.
Fucking A, man, you're actually selling me on this. So like, it actually, I mean, so is it mostly specifically the management?
Yeah. That's
okay. Gotcha.
That's most of the fun I'm having. Turns out there is a wrestling video game in here with a bunch of, if you like wrestling, with all your favorite dudes, and the gameplay seems like a lot of fun. There's a lot of modes, but just the creation stuff and the community, the stuff that the community made is amazing. You can get lost in there for so long and just have fun changing up stuff in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can tell you're having fun based on the pictures you're sending me. That is unquestionable.
Having someone make a Disney World arena and then having Sub-Zero win the Infinity Stones and pulling them from Apollo Creed just makes me happy. You can just look.
Oh, that's where he got them from?
He beat Apollo Creed.
How dare you?
Apollo Creed did come back and win it, but then he lost it to Deadpool, who, upon winning the belt, grabbed the ref, took the belt from him, and Deadpool threw the ref out of the ring and just celebrated and danced with it, as he does.
I can't believe he fucking killed Apollo Creed. That is...
Apollo Creed is there. His son is rising up the ranks too, so eventually Apollo and Adonis have to meet in the ring, and that's going to be a great moment when that finally happens.
Yeah, that's going to break the time barrier, dude.
Yeah, what my wrestling organization is called New Earth, and it's about like all these. I already got a arena set that I downloaded for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that's my WrestleMania. That's my finale, is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Is it at least? Does it have the red sky?
No, everything's all blue themed because it's based on the logo. I already did a red event with the Red Room from Black Widow when I made the Royal Rumble event, Red Room Rumble. So everything was code and red. I can't have too many red themed events back to back.
Okay, I just want to note that the Red Room is from the Black Widow movie, right? I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's from her comics and movies and stuff.
Okay, if you're gonna make a red event, instead of doing the Black Widow movie no one saw and or cared about, do the fucking Crisis on Infinite Earth, an event that people still reference and is still like beloved from beloved comic book creators. Like, what are you doing?
I didn't make the arena, someone else did. It's an outdoor arena because it's WrestleMania. It's the big event.
Well, if you're the manager, I'm your wealthy investors who have some shady deals going on, and I'm not happy right now. Add that to your fucking story.
Speaking of story,
hey,
Right at the 30-minute mark. That's how we do things. We're a well-oiled machine here. We're professionals.
Speaking of well-oiled machines and professionons, like
Hey!
there's so many ways to transition into this. It's like speaking of Norse gods, there's there's one. Speaking of, well, no, Odin. You're giving me a
Yeah.
look. I meant Odin. Yeah.
Yeah, I was no, I was pulling over my notes. I was getting those out and ready.
Yes. So, can I be honest? I found this game harder to take notes for than Mega Man Battle Network.
It's one of these games. We've done a few of these before, like these one-shot adventures. And the thing about these games that are so short and compacted is that they don't really reveal themselves until the very end. In that games like this have to be taken at their full picture in order to understand what's going on. I did take a lot of notes, but they were mostly beats for beats what were happening.
So that's what I found. I was like, oh, if I just take these notes, it's just going to be a description of like the plot. I tried to get like as much gameplay stuff as I could, but real quick, if you don't mind, I just want to say what my playthrough was. Which again, we were planning to record last weekend and couldn't because of your AC. Again, your dog is, poor thing, and I basically I remember I played it on Friday, planning to do the episode, and then I found out about you, and I think I finished it on Sunday. I basically did the first section because it is split into like three sections. Would you say maybe like three and a half, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, three
So
big.
I did the right. So I did the first section on Friday, and then a couple days later did the rest of it. And so you played yesterday and today, correct?
Yeah, I played up through biomedical last night, and then did all of engineering today.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, you could beat this in one sitting. Like it's a very
Easily.
short game. Not that it's a bad thing, but yeah, that you could definitely do this in one sitting. Um, I and I mean so I didn't know anything about this, right? Like I told you I didn't know anything about this game. I didn't know how it actually played, other than again it's from the Gone Home people, so it's probably going to be similar because I did play Gone Home. And Michael, I think I'm going to come down a little more negatively on this game than you are,
That's fair.
just based on the way you've been talking about it.
I to get my overall impressions out of the way, I like this game. I think it's one or two emotional beats away from me really, really liking this game.
It feels like something's missing, right? It
Yes.
really feels like there's something just not there. And I was curious because I did try to avoid, knowing anything about this game before playing it. And then after playing it, I was kind of like, how was this received? And I was happy to see there were some critics who were like, just there's stuff here, but like something's missing. Like it just doesn't really hit like it should. Like they clearly want it to.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a perfect example to me of a game, and I think we're going to be talking about the story a lot because again, it's like a walking simulator. Hate to use that term, but so it's mostly the narrative that's going to carry this game, and it really feels like they built a really good and detailed world, and the actual plot, the actual events that happen within this game, to me is just kind of dull.
I wouldn't say dull. I was invested in all of it. I just think it needs more. Like another hour or so with these characters, another big reveal, another like one or two heart-wrenching moments near the end to really carry this through, because I was with this game for all of it. I just wanted more at the end of the day. Is my
Yeah,
experience here.
and I mean it's a
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, that was pretty much the end of my thought. You're good.
Oh, well, I think it's a fine premise. Again, I said douchebags or blue collar in space, but it is essentially like I'd say blue collar. Douchebags is the Dark Star movie by John Carpenter, which I recommend watching if you haven't, even though it is very bizarre. But I think that like it's a decent premise of okay, spaceship came back. There is, or not a spaceship, sorry, space station. Nobody is on it, and we have to figure out what happened to the crew. Fine premise, and the idea that it's like, oh, this company has been recording everything, and you can like kind of live a virtual simulation of it. A virtual simulation, which I don't fault the developers at all for this, but a virtual simulation in which no one has mouths because, like facial features can be hard to do.
Yeah.
I think it's a fine compromise.
It's literally just
And actually,
walking, like wireframes walking around.
it's literally like wireframes, but I actually really did like that they're all color coded to their department, and they all
Yeah.
have like a symbol on their back that it reminds you, like, oh right, this is the medical person, this is the botanist. Um,
Even
I think it's
before
a fine premise.
it's a great way to get you introduced to these characters, because right away, before you like know their names, you immediately associate the job with a color, and then you go from there and associating it with their names. Like I can name
Yeah, I think that actually worked.
I
Yeah.
can name all of the characters, and when I think of the character, I think of a color, and when I think of the color, I think of their job. It's all connected in that way. It's very smart how they dole out that information.
Yeah, no, I actually really did like that. And I think the opening, again, with, like I said, solid premise and a solid opening, there is that shot I really like of you docking in the ship and, like, your ship reverses and you just got a straight shot of Earth, which is a very good,
Yeah.
like, just placing it as, like, this is not, like, far reaches of space. This is, like, we're still pretty close to Earth here.
Yes,
We're still all within the solar system.
I want to say
And, yeah, that's...
I want to say right up front, the game direction is phenomenal. Like cut
When
loose
you say
from,
direction, how do you mean?
how element both like the direction of the actors, how conversations themselves flow, how you can get this one big room with this scene going on, and there could be like a mini scene over here, and the way they're broken up as like people pass by in the hallway, they can have like one or two words to each other, and it want stuff like that, and stuff like the way the environment itself is positioned. Like you said, like you see the view of Earth, and then you can go out. Like the last thing I did before leaving Tacoma was I went back to the Tacoma Dome and I looked at Earth just from the outside, just took it all in, just like gave a, just like I bookended the adventure by watching the first scene I encountered over again to see if like any of the context changed or something. And the fact that like, am I making sense what I mean by direction here? Or
No, actually, now that you described, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, stuff like that. Just the way everything is positioned and like the way the game guides you through things, as well as like how it handles cutscenes and like the dialogue scenes and everything. How all that is like constructed is brilliant, I think.
So I, at first, remind me when you, okay, so you get on the ship, and also, yeah, again, you are told by this company, like, look, just figure out what happened, and it's even less like figure out what happened and more, make sure you retrieve the AI, because that's proprietary.
That is,
and
everything
we have
else,
to get that.
Yeah, everything else is unimportant. It's all about going in and retrieving the AI. They're like,
Yeah,
you can figure out what happens too, that's fine, but your main priority is go to these 3 centers, plug in, extract all the data from this ship, and get the AI and deliver it back to us.
Yeah, and I love that you even have emails coming in from the company, and one of them says, by the way, this is all, like, confidential. You signed an NDA. You can't say shit about anything you've seen here. Because I love that moment where it's just like, by the way, don't fucking talk about what we're doing. And
Yeah.
I do like that right at the beginning, you meet the Odin AI, which is the AI for the station. And as you're being, like, led into the station on the platform, it kind of, like, glitches out. It's very much setting up the typical, oh, the AI probably went rogue. That's where we're going to go with this.
Yeah, it's a good fake out because you immediately, it takes your knowledge on other sci-fi stories and has you thinking it could go a couple of directions with it, the main one being the rogue AI stuff.
Yeah, I will say that it did... again, not really the fault of the game, because it's not like, first of all, it's not like that many people saw this movie, but it kind of reminded me of the Duncan Jones movie Moon, which similarly, it stars Sam Rockwell on like a moon station alone, and then an accident happens, and there's an AI, and I'm going to spoil a bit of the movie Moon, which is, you're like, oh, is the AI the villain? And the end is very clear, like, no, the AI is actually a good guy, essentially, in this story. But they wanted you to think the AI was a villain. And so you definitely get that vibe. And when you go into... So you get into the ship, you're in a zero-gravity thing, which I thought the whole thing was going to be in zero gravity, which I thought was cool, and I got to be honest, I was a little disappointed when we started walking around.
I don't get motion sickness. just all the way this was spinning, and then you get on the like elevator shaft. I was like, "There's so much movement in this game. I need it to calm down a little bit." I was relieved when I started walking, so I'm in the opposite aspect of that.
Fair.
I'm like, "Good God, everything's moving."
Fair enough. 100%. No, that's true. Because it does remind you, it's like, wait, where is anything? Because everything's moving all the time, and so like not only are you not stationary, but nothing in the station is stationary. But yeah, then you get to go down. Remind me, when you go down, you have two directions you can take in the first area. Are you able to choose which direction, or does the game make you pick one?
I went right. I always went right first, and then went left.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I would love to. Maybe I should have played.
Yeah.
Well, no, I apologize, listener, that I don't fucking have that information, because now I kind of wish I do.
No, this is
because I
just
also went
experience.
right first.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I went right first, or I did go right first. I wish I just knew if you could go left.
The game sightlines you into going to specific places. Like before, I went to the first zone, which was like the crew area. You see writings on the wall that say to the Tacoma Dome. So it's like, all right, before that, I'm gonna fly down here and see what's up with that. You see some like 0G basketball, which I got the achievement for making a 3-pointer, and I'm like, hey, this game's like Dead Space.
Yeah, I dunked for blue team. I made sure to help them out.
Yeah, they were behind, so I was like, I'm gonna make sure blue team wins, and it makes like a nice sound when you get that. So yeah, fly at the end of the hallway, and that's where you get your first like conversation where you learn how the AR recordings work, and I think we touched on this, but there's a fun sign at the beginning that says, just so you know, by onboarding the station, you forfeit your rights for you not to be recorded, and everything.
Yeah, I love, because like this game is, like I said, I do like the world it presents, and it's a very corporatized future. And I like this idea that, yeah, the companies are just recording everything you do. They control, like, every aspect. I forget the name of the evil company in this game.
VT is their shorthand.
VT, yeah. Yeah, VT just, like, you know, again, it's like you sign a disclosure. It's like, by the way, we can do all of this, and you can't do anything about it. One of my favorite little details, just to skip ahead, is that because it's all about like worker protections, which again very relevant to what is happening right now. And I love that the anti-union bill is called the Orbital Workers Safety Bill.
Love it.
Which I loved that. It's called the Orbital, but even though all the orbital workers are against it, because really it's a fucking anti-union bill in disguise of a safety bill.
Yeah.
Again, very realistic.
And the thing they're celebrating, when you go down and you see a party, they're celebrating this union-based holiday where humans were supposed to be declared obsolete, and that AIs were going to take over the entire like space industry, pretty much. It was all going to be AI-led until the union stepped in and got that bill signed, which is the obsolete day. And they don't tell you that right away because all the characters know what this is. It's something that you find in like emails later on, which is the main crux of this game, is that a lot of this is a game which the story is you're going to get as much as like you put into it. So if you're not doing any of the investigating or going on the optional routes, you're going to end up with a more narrow view of this story than someone who, I assume like we did, and investigated everything.
Oh yeah, I investigated everything I could. Again, if I sound down on the plot, I might be, but I do really like the world building in this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. I love looking at people's fucking screens. I love like peeking over their shoulders, like, what do you got?
All the UI elements are so well done.
Yeah, I think it's excellent in that sense. I think again, going back to just the premise, I think it's a fun idea for a video game. Okay, you have these recordings. No one's here. You do know that no one is on this ship. But also, Michael, like, did you think that maybe they were going to do like a shock twist and someone was going to be there or something? I'm just curious.
I was expecting one person to be in a chiropod at the end of this game.
Yeah, that I kind of was too.
I was like, someone is going. I thought how it was going to end up was that everyone's going to be dead, but there's going to be someone left in cryo here, and I'm going to have to wake him up. And
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be either Sarah was alive or it was going to be Nat was alive in the cryopod, and we'd have to choose to, based on her condition, we had to choose if we wanted to open her or not.
Yeah.
Is how I thought.
Which that's a great reveal, by the way, that like she will not survive the cryo because of a health condition.
Yes.
Because I like that, again, with Alien, cryo is just a very routine thing in those movies. And this is like, no, what it's going to do to your body, like if you have certain health conditions, you will not survive this.
It's putting your body into shock, basically, when you wake up.
Yeah.
Because instantly your body's like frozen solid and then it's back alive. You are going to be in shock for 2 hours. Like we see that with the botanist, Andrew, I think his name is, who's in the corner and he's like it's like me when I wake up from melatonin-induced sleep. It's like, how are we doing? We're going to Jupiter? That's cool.
Bro, that's why I don't take melatonin anymore. I keep telling people about my sleep problems and they're like, have you taken melatonin? And I'm like, yes! And I don't want to, because it fucks me up. I don't like it. I'm just so tired of everyone telling me to take fucking melatonin. Listen, all right? Like, it's some fucking miracle cure, all right? I don't want to be, like, so groggy or whatever. I feel like I have weird dreams and shit, and I don't want to take it anymore. And every time at work I bitch about how tired I am, it's like, well, have you tried melatonin? And I'm doing this with the same people who have already told me that, and I've told no. All right, so basically, like, you get to the frickin' room. You get to the like rec room thing, and they're having that party. And this is so. I got to be honest though, Michael. I believe this game was partly based on this big play that was going around for a while, where it was like an immersive thing, where you could like walk around and follow the actors. Have you ever heard about this?
No, sounds like a mystery.
I did.
Like a
I remember
mystery
hearing about it.
Thing.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it at the time. And so I'm looking at the wiki, to be honest. There was a 2011 play called Sleep No More. Yep, New York City. I remember hearing about this, and the idea was that it was like, oh, we're going to tell this story, but you, the audience, can follow some of the characters / actors around and choose which stories you want to follow. And almost like a video game, they are going to do the same thing no matter what.
Yeah.
And so you get to decide what story you want to follow. And I do wonder if a little bit of that, when you turn it into a video game, is undercut when you can just rewind everything. I totally get what they're going for, but part of me is like, well, you don't really have to make a choice, so really these separate vignettes aren't really all that. They're all just one big vignette.
Like you decide, have it be. I feel like in order to do that, your game would need to be shorter than this.
I think it would definitely feel more linear.
Yeah.
To be sure. But I don't know. I felt it's one of those things where obviously all video game is the illusion of choice. Have you guys played the Stanley Parable for this show?
No, we did not play the Stanley Parable for this show.
Well, if you ever do, call me. It's kind of a hack thing to like bring up the Stanley Parable again, but I really think it's one of those things that like nailed it so perfectly.
I love the Stanley Parable, but I feel like anybody who has played the Stanley Parable cannot like discuss the Stanley Parable. It needs to be people who've never played it before all talking about this game. Because if
that's actually a fair point.
If you have someone who's in on it, then it kind of loses the discussion about the Stanley Parable. I'm not going to go into the Stanley Parable here. It's a great video game. Check it out if you haven't played it. If you know, you know.
Exactly. And without spoiling, I will say that it deals heavily with the theme of the illusion of choice in video games.
Yes.
Well, actually, you guys did play Spec Ops: The Line, of course, which is also that. That one is directly addressing the illusion of choice. And I do think, like, this is dumb. I'm not some angry fucking 4chan freak, but when Mass Effect 3 came out and I saw all the endings, I just remember it really was like the curtain had been pulled away. I saw how futile, like how none of these choices mattered. I'm not fucking threatening BioWare, you fucking freaks. But it was one of those where I saw the inner workings. I saw how this, like, oh, okay, so this is what it's doing. Which kind of sucks because now I know how this works. I remember some Telltale series really fell into that as well, where you're like, oh, I see that you didn't really give me a choice here. It's just the vibe of a choice.
Yeah, Walking Dead Part 2 was the...
Oh, that's the worst one in terms of, like, there's the character that gets shot, and it is one of the worst because that character should not get shot if you've played your cards right.
Yeah.
But they do. because the story has to have that happen.
Yes.
And so you really feel how much that like they are trying to force this to happen, and it's you have to be subtle with it. Again, obviously, there's not really a choice in these video games
We
that are ultimately like pre-programmed.
Yeah,
But
we played Wolf
I
Among Us this year, and that did a better job of not necessarily hiding the choices, but made it seem like your decisions were carrying weight. Because in that story, you had like an outside manipulator with
mhm.
we discussed this game, so I can mention it, like the Crooked Man manipulating stuff behind the scenes. So that had that like outside element as a part of the story, which shapes it. What ruins the like illusion of choice is whenever you feel the game shift you back. It has to be natural. It's like
I would say
editing.
so. Yeah.
It's like editing in a movie. When you notice editing is not doing its job.
hmm And I should note that like I want to be clear before I get any hate for this. I know that you can't affect anything in this game, and that's not the purpose.
Yeah.
Everything that has happened has already happened. I don't think there's a problem with that. I guess my sort of problem is the idea of you are going to explore, like you can follow these conversations as you choose. Well, if you can always just go back, I just feel like the gimmick. I noticed the gimmick. I'm aware that like
Oh,
it
this is a
doesn't
video
really
game.
matter. Yeah, I'm like, this is a video game. And obviously you're technically always aware of that, but in this one I really felt it. A game that I was thinking about that really, I don't love either, but actually, I mean, I respect some of his choices, is Night in the Woods.
Okay.
And Night in the Woods, when you choose to like hang out with a friend, you are choosing one friend over the other. And that does affect the story. And there are like consequences. So again, that one I recognize you are then changing the story, and this game is not about that.
Yeah.
I just found that like I really noticed the gimmick of this game, and I at the end of the bit I was kind of like, did I feel interested because of this? At first I did. I want to note in the game room I thought it was cool. I really did. I thought it was cool that like you get the captain's conversation, and then you can like explore the captain's room while the scene is still playing, and then you see them all having that conversation outside.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Then I went to the kitchen and listened to that conversation, which also intersects with the romantic couple, the girl you like and the other girl. Their
Nat,
conversation.
really cool, and Bert.
Yes. So you get them starting to intersect. I just found it not actually. I think it's great in theory. Essentially, I thought it was a really cool idea that after the first room, I was just not as interested in it anymore.
I was on board for this the whole time because I liked seeing all the intersecting conversations. Like every time I got to a room, I would make it a point to follow one character at a time, and with that fast forward button, be like, okay, when they all intersect, I've already seen this. Fast forward to make sure I was getting every piece of the story. I thought that was the way they dole out that information was super interesting. And this area is where they're celebrating the obsolete day. I love it because it's like it's ironic take on this holiday. This is where we get.
Like I said with the world building, I love the idea of obsolescence day.
Yes.
I love the idea of celebrating this Union victory essentially. Obviously, like there's no getting around the fact that like this is a very political game in certain ways.
It's a very pro-union game. Absolutely,
it's a very pro-union game. I want to note this game like is my politics. This is an example of like something where I agree with all the politics of it. It just didn't hit for me.
Yeah,
just like how there's other things that like hit for me where I'm like I don't like any of the politics in this, but as a piece of art, I can't deny that it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at you, Top Gun Maverick.
That's just an Ace Combat movie.
Hey man, listen, they can make it happen.
It takes place in the Strange Reel.
You know what? I don't know Ace Combat lore. I know that lore is crazy, but I don't know of it.
Alternate history, fake countries. Belka will rise again. Anyway, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get our inciting incident. The ship supposedly collides with a piece of debris, because there is a warning on one of the displays that says, just so you know, we're going to be colliding with, we're going to be in an area with some asteroid and some space debris. There's a minimal chance of harm, and then all of a sudden it causes a maximum chance of harm, which we find out later is fabricated, but the communications are damaged, and the oxygen supply is damaged.
Yeah. Obviously, I think the twist is fine that it was all fabricated, but it's one of those where it is kind of funny. It is, like, very convenient that these particular things are down. You know, that, like, power's still running, but specifically oxygen and communication are out.
It makes sense that I'm like, of course this was a fabricated event because of the way this happened, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's, again, good setup. Okay, now we know what happened to the station, even if we don't know what happened to the people.
We have our
now, what did they
clock.
do after? Yeah, that we don't know what happened to the people. We presume they got out, since again, they're dead on the ship because there's no like signs of life.
That's what
we
I was
don't know
thinking,
which one it is though.
The ship. Or before we saw the remains of like that ship, did they escape? Did they escape to the moon? Are they lost in space somewhere in cryosleep with no communication? What is their ultimate fate? And that is what the main mystery we are trying to do. Our job is to like extract the AI, but as the player, we want to get to the bottom of this mystery, this corporation, as well as because a lot of the stuff is laid out in this room. You get a lot of the character relationships through looking at. I think everybody has their UI screen up at this one where you can see kind of
everybody or almost everybody. It's a lot of them.
Between like the first two scenes, you get everybody's UI screens where you can look at them, so you know, okay, Nat and Bert are in a relationship. I didn't find out until I got to engineering that they were married. I was like, oh, here's their wedding invite.
Oh, actually, yeah, I thought that too, because I thought like, oh, they're having like an office affair basically.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh no, they're married and everyone knows this.
Yeah, because that was kind of kept. Wasn't necessarily kept secret. It was one of those things they broke off whenever they weren't in the room, whenever someone else came in the room. And they had the bit where they got busy in the supply cabinet. So I was like, is this a secret romance?
That is one of my favorite uses. Yeah, that is one of my favorite uses of this like rewinding system is having because they jump on each other and like knock shit over, and then you get to see the other perspective of the doctor and the botanist like hearing something and just being like, the fuck is that? But I actually did I like the whole office vibe of this.
Yeah.
I like that it's just a fucking office vibe. Again, this is blue collar in space, and it's just like, yeah, we just put in our 9 to 5. We go to work, we go home, because you'll get to explore their rooms. They have books and shit. I gotta ask though, Michael, how did you feel about some of the dialogue in this game?
Mostly good.
I was not a fan of a lot of it.
I think it's fine.
I gotta be honest, man. In general, I do think a problem with video game storytelling is that I just think a lot of dialogue usually doesn't work. And this game, I don't know, man. I wasn't a big fan. A lot of it just felt very stilted and off to me. Especially when it's not exposition. When it's not exposition, it's very oh right, this is okay. I don't know. It just wasn't compelling me. Got to be honest.
It does its job. It doesn't inspire, is how I would describe it.
I suppose so.
It does what it needs to for me. I was all in. I was mostly in on the dialogue and everything because I think the world building and the mystery were so strong. I think taken on its own is where I could start to see problems and everything, but I was all in. I was fully immersed in the story and everything going on with the dialogue in particular. So I don't know.
Gotcha. I don't want to harp too much on the dialogue, especially because I didn't write a lot of specific stuff down. But there was just a lot of moments where I was kind of like, oh, this is some video gamey dialogue, and I don't mean that as a compliment. So I also want to note that this game did crash on me at this point.
Yeah. Same. It crashed.
Did it really?
This game crashed on me 3 times on the PlayStation version. If you leave it paused for too long,
is that what it is? Because I did. I think I paused it. I went out to do something. I came back and I'm like, why is it so slow? And then it just crashed on me.
Yes, that happened to me twice. 2 or 3 times.
That's really this game came out in 2017, right?
Yeah. Are you playing on the PS5?
Yes, I am.
I wonder if it's a weird PS5 thing.
Michael, I got to be honest. We are 2 for 2 on a weird pause crash glitch. So I'm gonna assume it is a PS5 thing since you're also playing on that.
Yeah.
So listener beware. If you have to like take a shit, make it a quick shit. Because if you come back,
because I was hovering over the save and quit sign, being like, please have autosave.
Same.
Please have autosave.
Michael, I did the exact same fucking thing. I did the exact same thing, and also like it wasn't because I would press like down on the D-pad, but it wouldn't go down right away, and so I'm just pressing D-pad like down. I'm like, oh my god, and I would hear a sound, and I'm like, is that the sound of it going down? And then I'd wait, and I'd see it go down one, and I'm like, okay, down to the next one. Just keep going. Yeah, and I think I was able to get there just before. Yeah, but it did crash on me. It only crashed the once, but interesting for you, it crashed 3 times. I do think it probably is a PS5 thing then. Yeah. But that is also very bizarre because we both had the same issue.
Yeah. I mean, no one's at the studio to upgrade this to next gen hardware, so oh boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah. Oh, real quick, I also want to note that like again, I think so I was talking about how the Stanley Parable really like deals with the illusion of choice, and Spec Ops: The Line does that as well. The South Park Stick of Truth game has one of my favorite bits where you're in an alien spaceship and finding audio recordings. Have you played that game?
No, but I've watched a couple playthroughs of it.
There's a pretty funny bit where, you're finding these audio recordings, and it's essentially making fun of the Bioshock style, like, finding audio recordings that then become useful, where one guy's like, I found an audio recording, and it had a combination for a locker, which I thought was actually pretty cool. Then I opened the locker, and it was another audio recording. And it's just, like, just this loop of, like, he's like, eventually I had to start eating the audio recordings. I had no food, because there's audio recordings everywhere. It's a very funny bit, and it kind of reminded me of, like, to get into something, I forget what it is, but to get into like, I think it's the captain's like desk area or captain's office.
Yeah.
You have to find a code. I forget where it was, but I wrote down like, there's always like a code written down somewhere where no one would ever write a code down.
Or what you can do is you can follow them and you can see them enter the code if you're following them on the keypad.
Ah, interesting. I thought about doing that and then I just found the code and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just do that then. But that makes sense too.
Yeah.
But like that, and I guess that is kind of fun then that they gave you that option. Fair enough.
See, this game has choice.
No, it's not even that. It's just that like that to me is a more fun option than just finding the code. I got to be honest, Michael. I'd rather the code wasn't available and I had to do that because that to me is more fun.
I like that you had multiple ways to like find the code.
I guess there was definitely a code written down somewhere where I think I like sighed. I was like, come the fuck on. Like, who would write a code down and like put it here of all fucking places?
It was, I know which one because I think I did the same thing. It was Clive in his room. It was like a to-do list. It says Jim Locker code.
Yep. Like, Michael, that was it. It was the Jim Locker code.
The Jim Locker code? Everyone's Jim Locker code is a code to something else. It's not an original code.
Yeah, it's so fucking So, and I know these guys did the Bioshock 2 Minerva's Den thing, but it just really like I was like, oh yeah, this is still that era where it's like, what if? Because this is 10 years after Bioshock 1, and obviously Bioshock wasn't the first to do this either. System Shock and there's other games, but it is so funny that like 10 years later we were still getting this like find the code to like open the door thing. It isn't that cool. And again, maybe I'm too jaded. I'll fully admit that, but I just was not as into it as I was before.
Yeah,
I think of that South Park thing where you're like, oh, at first this is really cool, and then you're just kind of tired of it. You're like, all right, where's the fucking code that's written down somewhere?
As someone who loves immersive sims and games like Deus Ex and Dishonored and all of that, where codes are just part of the game design, I'm just like, oh yeah, memorizing codes. This is something you do.
Yep. Oh, there was that point. The moment I think it was that because it was that first code. It was a 4-digit code, and I'm like, I'm surprised the first code here is not 0451.
0451.
And guess what the final code is?
Yep.
Yet again, it was like I don't know if I. Yeah.
You need that
like
joke.
I said, I'm conflicted about this game.
My favorite was Deathloop because I thought for sure that the first code in Deathloop would be 0 for 5-1. I did it, and I got an achievement for it.
Did you really? See, that's actually kind of funny.
And I think Cole will say, not Cole, the main character will, Colt, will go through it and be like, that usually works.
Nice. I mean, like, I don't think the reference is bad. I just was kind of like, okay, here it is. Here's the obligate. It felt like end stage Stan Lee cameos. It's like, all right, here it is. Like, fucking, whatever. We know what it is. Here's that. I will say at the actually, I'm not going to go into how I feel about Stan Lee. Those are very complicated feelings. But, yeah, so, like, I mean, you basically just explore. Oh, I do like the theme that the doctor is, like, constantly talking to the AI.
Yeah.
I do like that she is, because it almost made me suspicious of her. I'm like, you're weirdly close to this AI. Like, you stay away from the people and stick to this AI. Have you ever seen the movie Sunshine?
Yeah, I love Sunshine.
Sunshine's a phenomenal movie. Also, guess what happens in that movie? They go to a ship where there's no signs of life, and they're like, what happened here? There's that guy who, like, I love that the psychologist in that movie is the one who's losing his mind the most from, like, staring at the sun.
Yes.
And that's how I was thinking the doctor might be doing that. Like, oh, the doctor who's supposed to help people is the most, like, becoming less human because she's spending all this time with this AI.
We're going to crank up the sun 1% today and just go, feel my retinas burning.
Fuck. Yeah, listen, listener, please watch Sunshine if you haven't.
That is
just a phenomenal movie.
People hate the
Absolutely
last 30
phenomenal.
minutes for completely changing genres, but I like it.
Listen, if people want to be boring and stupid, they can, all right? It's fucking cool as shit. It's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
And also,
Sunshine, great.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy is in it. And he's Oppenheimer now. Yeah.
Go back. Danny Boyle directed it. Please go back and watch Sunshine. That movie rules. The spacesuits are solid gold, and they rule.
Oh, God, I love how much... And, again, it's got, like, an office life vibe, where, like, they're just, like, eating dinner at the beginning, and it's like, oh, my God, this shit again? Like, it's just, like, oh, man. Sorry to gush about Sunshine, get distracted. Well, it's not that distracting, because...
Chris Evans is obsessed with the holodeck.
Oh, my God, yes. Man, I mean, I was about to say, like, I'm sorry for getting off topic, but, again, like, this is a... I don't know how many times this has been done in a video game, but this is a premise that again, is fine, but has been done a lot. Like, and in fairness, because it's a good premise.
I thought about Sunshine a lot while playing this game, actually, so...
One of the coolest editing choices I've ever seen in any movie is when they do find that derelict ship and they're using their flashlights because there's no power. And anytime the flashlight passes by the camera and blinds the camera, instead of showing the light, they show a face of one of the crew members of that ship because they have a picture of like them all standing together. And it is one of the creepiest editing choices I've ever seen. Anyway,
such a good movie.
It's so good. So good.
So... where were we? We're going to get to biomedical and around. Oh yeah, we were talking about Sarah's relationship with the AI, and Sarah and Nat have the deepest connection to it. Sarah from being the medical support staff. I'm assuming she goes to the AI for assistance with that. Nat is frustrated because I love this character choice and why Nat's probably my favorite character. She's in charge of the AI, but can't do anything with it. She's explicitly forbidden from doing anything with the AI.
That is such a corporate thing. Like, you're in charge of this, but also you can't do anything because it's our proprietary shit.
And then Evie has gotten several, like, hand slaps from corporate saying, stop asking to unshackle the AI! Because she's asking on behalf of her crew members. So she's the one getting in trouble for asking what Nat wants to do.
No, it's so good. Again, it's a very good... that is probably, like, my favorite recurring story of the whole thing.
Yes.
It's just this idea that, like, yeah, they can't unshackle the AI, which they need to do, but they can't do it because the corporate overlords, control it. And they're like, well, what is my purpose here? My job is to, like, run the AI, but I can't do it because they won't let me touch it. And I want to note that I do also think that, like, one of my favorite reveals, actually maybe my favorite reveal in the game, is I thought the reason Sarah was spending so much time with the AI is because of that thing you find out about her history. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Remind me.
That she, as a doctor, performed like the wrong kind of surgery, or like did basically there was some medical malpractice on a food writer. So that's something I love. When you get to Sarah's quarters, she has a weird amount of stuff like about this food writer. Like you can read his articles and stuff, and you're like,
Yeah.
I didn't know she. I love that there's so it's a bait and switch because you're like, okay, this might be like some personal stuff. Like she's actually kind of a foodie, and then when you actually get into her emails, what you find out is that she was operating on him and quote unquote killed him, and they basically were going to let her off the hook if she agreed that it was her fault, and she said no. The station's AI, which I forget what name it is, but it's one of the named ones. The station's AI told me the wrong procedure. And the corporation's like, our AI never are wrong. They can never be wrong because then we might be liable to a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to sign this if you want to keep operating on like this peak great station, because it's implied that like the one she was on was much better than this. And she refused to sign and like take the money and admit that it was her fault. And so that was why she was bumped down to Tacoma.
Mm.
None of that is said within the plot of the game. This is something that you are able to determine through reading these logs. Again, I feel like I'm being harsh on this. This was one of my favorite realizations of the whole thing. Because then suddenly Sarah spending so much time with the AI makes sense. I think she even has, someone has this book, but I think it's her, has a book written by an AI. And it is like, oh, the first AI published novel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, so Sarah really likes this whole AI thing. And yeah, finding out, no, it's because she is essentially like trying to uncover what happened. She
Yeah.
wants to be able to prove, like, save her reputation and prove that she was given bad medical advice by following the AI's orders, and the company won't take responsibility for it.
And one of my
So
favorite.
did you not find any of this?
I missed that one. I missed
Wow,
that
this
reveal.
was genuinely my favorite. Like I said, I think my favorite recurring plot line was the whole we can't change the AI thing, but my favorite like reveal was this. I loved figuring this out. Uh, as much as I just said, oh, it's kind of old hat. This to me was very fun that you're able to put this together by going through her like what she's looking at when she's in private and what she's looking at when she's at work. Because yeah, there's all these emails that are like, listen, we're emailing you again. We will pay you all this money if you just admit fault. If you admit fault, we will put you back on the good station. You won't be stuck on fucking Tacoma again. Interesting. I didn't know that you didn't know that.
I missed that reveal, but that's cool that there's stuff. It makes me want to go back and play it again sometime just to see if there's more that I missed or didn't uncover. Because I didn't get the achievement at the end for. That's all you did. I achievement peaked that you got all the passcodes and opened up all of the UI. I didn't get those achievements.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Which had me go.
I have achievements turned off, by the way. I don't care about them, and I hate them popping up, so I turn them off. So wait, I did that, and you saw that I did that, and you did not?
Yeah, you found everything. I did not find everything, and that was the thing I missed apparently.
Hell yeah!
So rub it in my face. I'm a scrub, but I did
a little bit. I did
get
top tier gamer pro strats on Tacoma.
I did get the 3-point basketball achievement, so at least I have that.
All right, Kobe, calm the fuck down. Oh, he's dead. Sorry, I forgot that he was dead until just now.
So, a lot of the plot from here on out is the crew preparing for cryosleep, and this is the plot line that I found the most interesting of like who's going to go under when. We got to get our plan ready to go before each of us can go into cryosleep, and how the characters were adjusting to that is what I thought was probably my favorite part of this game.
I do think that is, like I said, I think that wrinkle, that cryosleep is actually a very dangerous thing to do.
Yeah.
Does change things, because when they first pitch it, yeah, I'll be honest, I've seen so much sci-fi where it's like, yeah, get in the cryo chamber, wait for help. But when they're like, no, like even at peak medical condition, like you might not survive this. And some people, like, I keep forgetting her name, I'm sorry. But like some people literally have a medical condition where if they go in this, 90% chance they're gonna die.
Yeah, the reveal that Nat only has like an 18% chance when she wakes up of surviving because of an underlying heart condition that she is unaware of is...
Oh yeah, I love that they... Yeah, which... Did they... I don't think they have her reaction to like finding out, which is fine, but I think that like that was a thing, like, because they scan everybody to make sure everyone's good, and then they realize, oh, she can't even do this.
It's like, there was a bit with Sarah where she's talking to the AI, and she says, I didn't tell her.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Yeah, and she has
Which
an email that is being sent to the oversight committee that's like, I have opted not to tell this person because I do not want to cause more stress. And since she has a heart condition, I don't want her more stressed out before she goes into cryo to lower her chances of survival. It is more ethical for her to die in cryo than it is to let her die of lack of oxygen on the space station.
yes, and actually, you know what? You're helping me have a more positive opinion because I liked that realization too. That like she is keeping this secret because, yeah, it's like look, she's probably gonna die either way. This way she has a chance as opposed to dying of lack of oxygen, which she's guaranteed.
And if
I also
I
like
inform her of it, I risk putting her at a greater risk of not surviving. Which
yeah,
it sucks, but I'm
really
like, I
the
agree
idea.
with her here. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
that's a tough call to make, but I agree with her. If I
Oh, I think it makes sense.
if I was in that condition, I wouldn't want to know because I would want the best possible chance for survival.
Yeah, and it's like, look, we go from 100% chance you're gonna die to a 90%. Like, there's still a 10% you can live in this option.
I'll take the
But
90% over the 100 every time.
yeah, and also I like that they kind of note that the highest ranking members of this crew are actually like the most useless to the survival. They're the
Yes.
ones who are like, put them in cryo right away.
Clive and EV.
And they don't yeah, they don't even argue it. They agree. It's like, no, we don't have the mechanical expertise and the medical expertise to do this.
The
You
way
guys do.
the order in which they go under makes sense because it's Clive and EV, who you find out they're in a relationship, and Clive has a buddy who you find out later works for the rival company Carnival.
Which, by the way, we haven't addressed real company.
Real
And
company.
there's mentions of several real companies in this.
so Clive has a buddy who thinks, yeah, your relationship with Evie is toxic. So there was a moment where I read that email and then found the scene where Nat is asking for permission to unshackle the AI, and Evie's like, I can't let you do that, and like Clive is like, well, she has a point, and Evie's like, who asked you? And it's like, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry, I agree.
Wait, by the way, we keep saying the words unshackle. Is that used within the game, or is that just you and me?
That's just me. I use that term because Mass Effect 2 would have to basically hook Evie to the entire ship.
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like that reveal. Yeah, the highest ranking members of the crew are also the most like useless in this particular situation. Because at the last flashback, I call it a flashback, whatever you want to call it. The last flashback before like the big final one is just the doctor and like the engineers essentially, because it's like, well, here's the people who are important to our survival. Like this is, which I also love this idea that the plan is probably not going to work, and they all know that. It's just literally like, because as they're saying it, I am like, well, they're probably not on the ship, but like, this doesn't sound like it's going to work. I'm no scientist, but this sounds bad.
We're going to drift towards the moon and hope someone catches us before we crash into the moon while we're sleeping.
and again, the botanist who's the big pessimist is like, this is ridiculous, and they're all kind of like, do you have any other ideas? Because it's either this or die from lack
He's
of
like,
oxygen.
wait for help. Someone is coming, maybe.
Yeah,
And-
which I love that. So I love his character because, in my opinion, he's got some weird dialogue too. But I like the idea of his character, which is that it's not that he likes the big corporation. It's not that he likes VT, but he has, I would say in a non-negative way, or at least in an understandable way, he is selling out. For a better life for his family.
Because a currency in this world is your obedience to corporations.
Yes. Oh God, it's fucking horrific. When I think they talk about his student, like his son's student loans.
Yes.
He wants to go to like Amazon U, but the company's not going to pay for that because that's a rival company's college.
Yes.
Like that's so fucking good and so bleak. And again, like
if he wants to go to a VT approved corporation, we can give you one. You can cash in your consumer points for $171,000 or something.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. And I in general, even though I did it with Mega Man Battle Network because I thought it was fun, in general, I don't like to say this predicted the future when it is talking about the here and now, which this game is very much doing.
Yes.
Like it's one of those where we could say it predicted the future. It's commenting on now.
Yeah.
Like these are issues. There's a great Sarah Zed video, by the way, about idiocracy predicting the future, and she kind of like debunks that and talks about how it was talking specifically about that era. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, I I really did like that. Yeah, so he is very much like, well, they'll come for help because he has convinced himself that like this corporation isn't all bad. Like we just have to work with them, and so obviously they will send help. Again, we'll find out later that they deliberately are not sending help.
And yeah.
Be-
But even then, he asks what convinces him to get in the pod is he has a moment alone. Sarah goes and comforts him. And then which is a great scene. I love this exchange when they talk to each other. And then if you follow Sarah, she goes into by herself and she has that panic attack.
Oh,
after talking,
you're right. I forgot about that, but I love that. That yeah, she does the calm down thing and then freaks out.
She's convincing him to calm down, but while talking to him is freaking herself out. So she leaves and then has that panic attack while Clive, if you look at her UI, he's showing her a picture of like this beautiful grassy field. And like you're walking through this field showing a visualizer as she's just like slowly coming back to reality. It's a great oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It's become a meme to say realistic interpretation of a panic attack, but it really is.
If you bring that fucking cat into this, the cat being Antonio Banderas' Puss in Boots, a movie I have not seen, by the way, which I've heard is quite good. But I'm sorry, this is such like a film Twitter take or whatever. Why can people not just be normal about a fucking movie? Why does it always have to be this like giant thing where it's like this is a realistic? Yeah, not a whatever. I should watch that though because the animation actually looks quite nice. But it is the panic attack thing. I do think. Listen, man, without getting into detail, I have had to do that. I have had to calm people down and then step away and be like, "Oh my god, we are so fucked!" Like just like that has happened. I have had to do that.
Some people,
and so it was.
We as humans are ultimately stress sham wows. We build up other people's stress. We comfort them, and then we need to be wrung out ourselves. It happens.
Yeah. Yep. You know what, by the way? I think I will say that moment didn't hit as hard for me just because I followed her story first and then did the botanist. And I think, like, if I had done botanist first and then hers, that might have made that hit a little harder.
I followed them to each other's place. I was like, okay, I'm going to bookmark this. I'm going to come back to this. I followed her, and then I came back to the botanist.
Oh, so you did the same order. Okay, I don't know. I thought...
For me. Because then I went back to the botanist, and when he left, he was like, do they send vessels? He was asking, do they send vessels whenever the timing gets, whenever the communications get cut off? And he says, yes. He was like, okay, on average, how long does it take? They said 92 hours with 70, when they have about 50 hours of oxygen at this point.
Yeah.
And that's
great, because, he's just doing the math.
Yeah, so that's his deciding factor to going in the pod, was that he was doing the math. He was like, okay, the odds of survival here are more likely in the cryobot pod than they are waiting for someone to come pick us up. Which you later find out's not happening, but...
Yeah, which I want to note, we skipped ahead a little bit. This is in the second section.
Yes.
Yeah, because you did all that stuff. So you do the rec room thing, and then you also get a flashback of, like, well before the accident. That's, like, the second thing with that gym locker thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
But then, this is where they're making the plan. And it was this... What is the other one on this floor? Because I think I went to the other one first.
That is where Evie and Clive are having the discussion. They're having their, like, stress-induced discussion about deciding to... Oh, wait, no, because on the other side, this is where you get to the medical wing, where you find out Clive and Evie have already gone under. And that the botanist wrote... The botanist, I don't think, has gone under yet, but he's written everybody a message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked a lot of the emails, by the way, felt very real. I'll give them that it definitely felt very realistic, some of these chats. So in the you're right, so the medical wing is where you get, like, Evie and Clive, you're right, they are already under. By the way, did I already mention Evie is voiced by the captain on Star Trek Lower Decks?
Off mic you did, but...
Off mic, yeah. I just found that I was like, I've heard this captain voice before. Like, not even just a voice. I've heard this captain giving orders voice. That's why. So, yes, they are already in cryo. And, you're right. I like that scene between the couple. where they are just like, this is a long shot. This probably isn't gonna work. And so they just start having sex in the fucking like locker room or whatever the hell, or the storage room.
As you do.
Presumably having sex. All right, like probably. Um, Also, yeah, we kind of hinted. You can go into their personal quarters if they're like nearby. Their personal quarters are all like in certain spaces. Oh, I apologize. I'd like to note I love Clive. He has like another. He's trying to find another job,
Yeah.
which I thought was it because he is telling Evie like, oh, I'll stay here with you because I love you. But like you can see his records, he is looking at other jobs. Because his friend works at Carnival. Oh, okay. This was one of these personal quarters. All right. So how do we feel about the Elon Musk as president of South Africa lore detail?
Not a fan.
Neither am I, and I'm curious. I'm like, was this in the age of like Elon Musk is the fucking coolest, and of course he's president? I feel like it had to not be, right? I feel like it had to be like it was trying to be satire, right?
There's a heel turn somewhere. This was probably the age when he was on The Simpsons and Rick and Morty.
Oh God, I'm hoping that was the case, or that was not the case. I'm hoping it was the case of like, because I think that is so ridiculous to say, here's the white man becoming president of South Africa. Isn't that a great thing? I'm hoping the developers realize that. I suppose that I was just like, I wonder how they actually felt about this. Anyway, that was just a little lore detail where I was like, interesting choice. Yeah, you can find that in somebody's room. I like that Clive is just drunk in his room. Like when you see his flashback,
yes.
He is like drinking scotch. Yeah.
Sarah has the best vibe. She's like listening to indie rock as she's just chilling on the bed.
Yeah. Their rooms were. Oh, I did like the idea that, and this is like elaborated in the last section, that all these rooms are for individuals, and that. Sorry, I keep forgetting their names. The married couple wants to be in the same room, so they've like kind of made a makeshift like 2-person room and turned her room into a storage area.
Right, because she's living with her wife. So,
yeah.
Of course, she's like, I'm not going to be in my room at all, so we're going to be with my wife.
Area. I love that it's just a storage area. Yeah, also in one of those rooms, there's a sex toy, I believe, which you can't touch. Did you get that?
I think I missed that one, too. You're finding all the stuff.
It is in the lesbian couple's room, and like if you... I think it's a sex toy. I gotta be honest. I looked at it and I'm like, I think that's a sex toy. I'm not gonna Google what it is, but it is funny that because you could pick up everything in this game. I mean, I don't think we mentioned that. That's the whole thing. Is you pick up like everything, anything, and everything, and you can just look at all the labels on the food and shit, all the brands, and when you see that, it like the text actually phase it like the text normally says like tube of lipstick or like bag of chips, like whatever you're about to pick up, and the text says that's never mind, I'm not touching that. And you can't pick it up. It literally won't let you pick it up.
That's a good reveal.
Which I think that was funny. You were talking about Wolf Among Us, and we were talking about Walking Dead. Years ago, I did a Telltale video when I was trying to do like video game essays. It's not great, but I stand by some of my conclusions. But one of which is that like
we all have one of those. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. They would start having some fun with like the little info bubbles that would pop up when it's like, oh, Kenny will remember that or whatever. Like I remember Wolf Among Us. One of them is Grendel is so drunk at the bar that then when he passes out, it said Grendel won't remember this.
Yeah.
Like they'll have like little fun moments like that. To me, this was them commenting almost on their own, Gone Home style. Here's what it is. You can pick it up, and it's like, I'm not picking that up. Just like that. That for a moment. It also reminded me that like you are playing as a character who has a backstory. We haven't really mentioned it, but like you can go to your personal. You're looking at everyone else's. Files basically and their fucking desktops. You have your own, and it has like your mission briefing. It actually also has profiles on the crew, which I liked because I like any game where it's just like here's a codex, you can just look at everything right away.
I did that first off. Before I walked in, I looked through my entire layout to get a feel for everything before I went in.
Well, it gave me a cool vibe of like it actually did kind of immerse me because I was looking at it like, okay, if I was doing this, I would refresh myself on all the profiles of the people I'm looking for.
Yeah. It's very much so I thought going back to our conversation with the botanist, when he says we're the rest, he says they're weighing on the rescue crew. Your role as a character, Amy, your character has a name, but she might as well not have. Her role in the story is very, very, very minimal.
Yeah, it's very minimal, and there's a twist at the end, which I am a little conflicted on, and we'll talk about it when we get there, I guess.
Okay.
But like, so I mean, now this is what I'm talking about, where we've gone through all these gameplay things, so we're just kind of going through the narrative, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then they have that big like thing where the botanist is like, "Yep, I'm ready to do it too." And then this is kind of interesting. The next section, if you don't mind if I go there.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
The third and final section, you definitely can't go to the left one right away. It actually prevents you from doing so, and that's where the AI stuff all is. It's where the AI operator's office is. It's where the AI is physically stored. You cannot get there. Like, the door is, like, jammed or whatever. You cannot get there. And wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. There's one thing that I found funny, again, with how this game goes, is we forgot to mention that when you go to these sections, you have to put your data pad in, like, a port in the wall. Yeah. And it starts downloading the data. And so it's literally the idea, because all you're there to do is that. Like, you're not even supposed to be going into any of these rooms.
Right.
And so it's almost like your character is just bored.
He's just like...
And going to, like...
She's just taking the time to be like, well, I got time, might as well walk around.
Yeah. And so, because I remember seeing that, it's like, okay, and after, like, 10 seconds, it's like 0.1% download, and I'm like, oh, God, this is going to fucking... Like a real person, like, oh, this is going to take forever, might as well fucking walk around, see what's left behind. Anyway, I just wanted to note that, because I did find it funny that, like, that is the excuse for why you're walking around and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. At least until the reveal at the end. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, you can only go into, like, the engineering thing, where, Michael, did you get a little scared when you saw it? Because when these things start, when these flashbacks start, it gives you the time code. It says, like, this flashback is going to be 4 minutes long, because, you can rewind and stuff.
This one's 20 minutes long.
Did you have the same panic attack I did when I saw it was 20 minutes long?
Yeah. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh god, no. And then basically there's an explosion, and then there's a glitch, and it skips to the last 2 minutes.
So it's like 3 minutes total.
God. Yeah. I was a little worried, so I appreciate that little twist, because, like, in general, I'm less interested now in games where they just have you stand around and look at people talking. Mm-hmm. I never had a high tolerance for it, and I have less of a tolerance now, and I was like, oh god, not 20 minutes. And so, like, when I saw it when it skipped, I was like, okay, we're all right.
Even though I'm very positive on this game, that would have broke me. I feel like, no, okay.
And then rewind and do it again, like, for the other portion of the story, you know, because there are 2 stories now to follow, which I do like that at the beginning there's, like, 4 stories to follow, and you just keep having less as more people, like, go into cryo.
Yeah, it makes it, as the story becomes more tense and they want more linear, as the cutscenes naturally do that by alleviating people gone. And you can see, I thought this was, when you walk into engineering, you see a board that I actually took a picture of because I thought it was useful. I thought it was like an updated board of where these people are now, but it was just a one given by Nat, like a bulletin board. It wasn't like an updating board. The Operation Moonshot status board. So at this point,
right.
Yeah,
I do remember this now.
Evie and Clive are in cryo. Nat is manual control software is ready. She's installing the drone. Andrew's in cryo. Bert is doing the drone life support. So Sarah's sitting by his medical staff and support for cryo. AI is doing AI stuff, and the cat is probably sleeping somewhere.
I did like the AI is doing AI stuff touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that board. I guess also some of it... Well, never mind. But, like... So there's that big accident, right? And I do love that finally when, like, they get, what's her name, stabilized. And they're kind of realizing this plan is not going to work. Because this is, like, they haven't even taken off yet. And the ship is already, like, exploding.
Yep.
So I love that it's like, if it was bad before, it definitely is not going to, like, survive now.
This was the worst part of the story for me because I choose to believe that they have some kind of future tech that makes CPR simple. Because the CPR scene where she did 6 chest compressions and then Bert was responsive made me so mad.
Man, maybe VT didn't pay for that shit. All right, VT's like, look, you'll be fine. All right, we're not getting like the fucking resuscitation machines. What is that thing called? The defibrillator.
Defibrillators. But I'm like, maybe they had that because she did 6 compressions and then Bert was like up.
Oh,
like,
that's
responsive.
true. Are you a CPR expert?
I was a lifeguard about 10 years ago. So.
Oh my god, I would love all your lifeguard takes on every video game. Suggestion for the podcast, like, perspective of a lifeguard. Just in the final, like, 5 minutes.
No, it's just... anybody who knows CPR has immediately been ruined any movie scene with CPR and video game scene with CPR because everyone just says it wrong.
No, I buy that. I don't know CPR, but I buy that it's incorrect in every fucking movie and game and shit.
6 compressions, she's like, I'm responsive. I'm like, no, wrong. And not to get too in the weeds here, but she also, like, checks for, like, you can see her feel for a pulse for, like, a second, and then immediately go to compressions. I'm like, that's not enough time!
Get in the weeds, dude. Wander through the weeds for a sec. So like in this sci-fi future game where Elon Musk was president of South Africa, we have to talk about the fucking, like, CPR procedures that they went through and how inaccurate they are. I'd rather do that.
That part made me bad. Anyway.
Makes sense.
Bert was looking to go to ours. Yeah, because, Bert's room is here too, and you find out that she is like a great artist. She has a mural on the wall that she did, and then you find out that the Isadora Corporation thing was like, yeah, you can't go to those art schools that you were recommended for because they're not in your network. We'll pay for you to go to one of our schools. Yeah.
Yeah, there's and that's also great because, again, they're a married couple, and, like, these tours essentially are like a year long. And so, of course, they wanted to stay together, but is it her or is it the other one where it's like, you qualify for a better solution, like, you qualify for a better job. Like, you can get a better job, but you're choosing not to, and I don't want to hold you back because I'm not qualified, which is, again, is a very real thing.
That's a very real thing.
Also, this is where Odin... So Odin the whole time, again, he hasn't been nefarious. We've been seeing a little bit where now when we would, like, go into a section and the computer is, like, syncing with the ship's computer.
Yeah.
Like, your onboard HUD is, like, syncing with the ship's computer. Sometimes you'd see a bit of writing that says, like, help or, like, friend, like, stuff like that. And so this is where Odin kind of reveals his true colors in a positive way, where he's like, Sarah, there is a way to access my station. Like, I can't tell you to do it. I'm just letting you know that there is this opening right here. And technically, if you did follow that path, you would get to my core, or whatever it's called.
It's like the scene, it reminds me so much of the scene from The Incredibles where he's like, I'd like to help you, but I can't. I'd like to tell you to take this form too.
Michael, that's what it is. I was trying to think of what movie it reminded me of. You're right. It's the Incredibles scene. It's the insurance thing of, like, I wish I could help you. I wish I could tell you to go see Sarah in, like, this department. You're right. That's exactly what it is. And so that's great because she is like, why are you telling me this? And again, I guess, you had a different take on this. For me, it was like that Sarah is suspicious of AI because she has been wronged by one, essentially. But seems to like Odin and trust him. So she does this. By the way, when you go through this thing, you get to see that engineer's, like, little hologram thing. You can also see her. She's jamming. You can also read the crossword. I think it's here you can read the crossword. Maybe it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
The crossword has a bunch of great little lore tidbits. My favorite being that Taco Bell has become the #1 fast food chain on Earth by switching to vat-grown meat. I thought that was a funny little note. By being the first to switch to vat-grown meat.
Accurate.
Yeah. I thought there was some funny stuff in there, actually. I didn't write them all down. That was the one that struck me, though. It was like, yep, that's probably the case.
Checks out. And what made me mad was that I was trying to play the crossword and I put it down because I saw, I was looking at the crossword itself and I was like, okay, 4 across is blank, what's 4 across? There was not a clue for 4 across.
Oh, really?
I got mad. I put it down. I'm like, nope, alright.
Fair enough.
I get mad at the
then you get to
things.
No, well, okay, the lifeguard shit is fair. All right, that's a personal experience. Um, but I mean, when you get to this section, it's funny. This is the one like horror-ish section where you're like, is something gonna jump out at me? Because like this
Narrow
is, again, we
hallways
we are
through
now,
70s
yeah,
sci-fi corridor things.
yep, and also we are now one thing that has been with all the flashbacks is it also tells you how long ago it was from what you are currently doing. So we are now getting closer and closer to like time wise what actually happened.
I like the countdown
Uh,
aspect of it because it
yeah.
shapes
So
everything. Like all the
mhm.
important stuff that's been recorded are within the last 3 to 4 days, and like as you go deeper, it gets closer and closer and closer. Like all
Well,
the
because this is
stuff.
like 12 hours. I think this is really
Yeah, the
close.
explosion was 18 hours ago. At that
Oh
point,
no, the explosion was 3 days ago. Because that's the whole thing. They had
no, no,
like,
no, the explosion at the ship that they're trying to.
oh yes, yes, you're right. Sorry, the ship explosion was like 18 hours. So now you're at a point where it's like, yeah, like 14 hours or something.
Yeah,
Um, and you can explore this. It's kind of fun to see the AI engineers like drawings of the AI, like possible redesigns to make him like cuter or whatever, or like cooler.
yeah.
Uh, just again some fun office stuff. Again, like some lore stuff about like you can't fucking adjust the AI. Like they are which I think is fine. They're reminding you of that before they're about to do the AI reveal. They're like she is trying to adjust, like change the AI, and the corporation is like absolutely fucking not.
There's a cool reveal here with a pamphlet in the storage in that storage room where you find out she's a part. There's a new faction that's
Oh
introduced,
yes,
the AI Liberation Force
yeah,
or
and
something.
I thought that was setting up a twist, and I was correct, by the way. I literally wrote that down. I'm like, this feels like a setup for a twist.
Chekhov's pamphlet.
Yeah, dude, it really like as Chekhov said, if you put a political pamphlet over the fireplace, it has to be read by the player character by the end of the play. So, uh, also in that same area where you find that pamphlet, there is something called the Christmas duck, which you can turn on. Did you turn on the Christmas
I'm
duck?
not trying to the Christmas duck.
It just like lights up and plays like jingle bells or whatever.
That's pretty great.
Um,
Man.
yep, it was nice. I liked it. So you get to the AI thing, right? And this is like the big reveal of what happened.
Sorry, I want to touch on one more thing. Nat,
Yes.
there's a really like cute and sweet bit where Nat is introducing herself to Odin, and
Oh yeah.
she's
No,
like,
you're right. That is fun, actually.
"Nice to meet you."
Yeah, and also they're looking at. Oh, because that's the whole thing. I forgot they introduced, and this is part of the Sarah thing with her backstory. They introduced this idea of like AI performance scores, and they give these AI tests, and their performance scores can actually go up as they're like becoming smarter.
How
And
self-aware they
Sarah
are,
wanted,
basically.
yeah, and so like because I'm sorry, what is her name again? The AI lady
Nat.
you just said, Nat. So Odin says, "Here's what my score is," and she's like, "Let's go." She does the Matthew McConaughey, like those are rookie numbers. We're gonna bump those up. Um, but it is funny that with Sarah, that is actually brought up in hers, where she actually does cite that her AI score, like the AI that gave her advice, the scores had been trending downwards for months, and that is one of her like pieces of proof that the court, like VT, will not allow to get out into the public space.
Oh yeah, because I definitely saw that the AI scores what's the word, the spreadsheet that I
Yeah,
think Sarah had in her office that was showing like the scores and everything.
yeah.
I just didn't connect the dots there.
That was for the station's AI she was on, where she is basically looking at like, no, the score had gone down. It was getting less intelligent, and yet you were still making me take medical advice from it.
Did you find
Um,
yourself hating the Juno AI
oh
in the
yeah, of
reveal for the
course. Like
story?
the game very much sets up that you're gonna hate the Juno AI and like Odin.
I'm like,
Um,
oh, this, oh,
I
this one.
think I think that might have been the AI, by the way, that Sarah had
That would make
operated with.
sense.
I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it's damn it.
There is
I
like
wish
an
I could
AI
find it real quick.
hierarchy sheet that you find in Nat's office.
Oh, I love that. That like these AIs, they're not like everywhere. There's like 10 of them, and they're specifically like on these stations.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So yeah, you're right though. That is a fun little scene. Her meeting Odin.
But yeah, now we can talk about Sarah going into the AI
Yep.
chamber. I like the light up
I
floors.
Oh, I love it's such a great entrance. Also, I apologize. I had to go to like the Tacoma wiki or whatever. It was not Juno that gave her the bad medical advice.
Okay,
It was an unrelated AI.
gotcha.
Although it is one of the ones in that hierarchy. It is one of the named ones.
Okay,
Yep, just wanted to make that clear. Anyway,
so minute fours. I'll just read my note here. So VT CEO create a statement because we find the main thing you find first is Sarah uncovering this. One thing I didn't like, one thing where I think the story dropped the ball here is Sarah's non-reaction to this revelation.
she has such a non-reaction. It's like, all right, so here's this evidence that not only was this whole thing fabricated, but this was the decision of AI, which you kind of hate,
Yes.
as the best course of action to reverse. Which, by the way, is a great callback to reverse the gains made by the Union that you are celebrating at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So after seeing all of that and seeing that Odin is even trying to negotiate, like Odin is within his parameters, like send a ship to rescue my crew, and they're like, we're not going to do that. And her reaction is, this is bad. It's like something's yeah.
The AI has the 2001 A Space Odyssey moment. The AI is asking for help, and the other AI is saying, I'm sorry, Bill, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. Or, sorry, Dave.
Oh, no, but where'd you get Bill from? That's so weird.
I'll tell you exactly where I got it from. It's the,
That's such an iconic line. I can't let you do that, Dave. And you pulled Bill. I don't know why that's so funny.
I know where it's from. It's from, the, Epic Rap Battles of History. The,
oh my god.
Steve Jobs versus Bill, Gates. And he loses to Hell 9000 has a rap where he says, I'm sorry, Bill, I'm afraid I can't let you do that. So
what a YouTube channel. What a YouTube concept.
The early 2010s YouTube was a good time.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, it really. What a great time for everybody. Absolutely, no one had any issues. God, I just keep seeing every now and then because I knew of epic rap battles of history, but then I'll find out about ones I didn't know existed. I think recently they did an Oppenheimer versus Thanos one because I saw people be like, "Oh, I was so glad to see this in IMAX," and it was a clip from the epic rap battle of like Oppenheimer versus Thanos of like who's the most destructive. But the funniest fucking one, for some reason, I didn't know they did this, and I would love to be in the room where they decided this was a good idea, where it's like Adolf Hitler versus somebody, but sometimes I just see the clip of the guy going, I am Adolf Hitler! Like, he's just so... It's Michael... It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life out of context. It's just him screaming in this high pitch, and he's doing the Nazi salute, which I am not even going to do, even though the listener can't see me, but he's just like, I am Adolf Hitler! It's so fucking... Okay, sorry. I apologize.
There was a 3-parter of him and Darth Vader.
No, that was not what they did.
Yep.
Was it really Hitler versus Darth Vader?
Yep.
Wow. Wow. What a fucking time.
Yep.
What was this, like 2 weeks ago? Like, when the fuck?
Well, when was the Hitler versus
Michael,
Vader one? Hitler versus
epic
Vader
rap
was like
Hitler.
That was like season 1.
Was. Can you kindly like inform people of like what fucking Sarah finds so I can find the Hitler thing?
All right, so yeah, Sarah finds. Oh, God, VTE CEO created a statement before everyone was dead. He was using the tragedy to push for legislation to end the Human Workers' Rights bill to make completely AI-run orbital stations. Was this disaster a setup? Was my note. Was the last one a setup? Because you find out there's hinted throughout the game that there was a disaster that killed the previous crew as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. They're like, yeah, another crew. So you're kind of like, they probably did that one as well.
Yeah. So the bill to strip away the job, we talked about this, is the Orbital Workers Safety Bill. And you find out it was a setup based on, like, I took a picture of the AI directives here. And it's almost directly the scene out of Alien where you find out the spoilers for Alien from 1979, but they find out...
We're spoiling a lot of old movies, I'm sorry. Except we're trying not to spoil Sunshine because that hasn't been seen enough and people should watch it.
People should watch Sunshine. But the the scene where it's revealed that the purpose of the corporation is to preserve the alien, and it's revealed on like this computer screen. It's almost identical here, where you find out that the AI directives were changed, where it's like the AI shall explosively decompress all oxygen tanks, disable all external communications channels, fabricate data showing the oxygen comms, and ensure that the crew enters cryogenic sleep.
Yep. So number one with the Alien comparison, I forgot that it basically takes place in the same room as in Alien, where it's just this big old computer room. And Alien to me is still one of the most effective because, and I think this one's fine too, but I think it's almost like more cold, even though it's almost more cold when it says like, so if you haven't seen Alien, a movie from 1979, one of the most iconic movies in history, when Ripley like gets to, I forget if she hacks into it, I need to watch this movie again, but she like, looks into the computer and sees that there's a new directive, which is preserve this new undiscovered life form at all costs, and then it specifically says crew, expendable. That to me is like one of the best reveals of like an evil how evil a megacorp is. It's just crew expendable.
It's such a good reveal. They do that same exact thing in Alien Isolation. Have you played that game?
Oh, I haven't played that. No, but I buy it. Like, it's recurring theme of these movies.
Do you mind if I
Wayland Yutani Corporation?
Do you mind if I spoil a bit in Alien Isolation?
Yeah, please go for
Spoilers, listener. Skip ahead 1 minute. So, you play the game as Ripley's daughter as she boards a space station which has uncovered Ellen Ripley's ship. So this is set between Alien and Aliens, where Ripley is drifting in the in cryosleep in the escape pod, essentially, finding out because we found out in Aliens that she had a daughter that was alive, but it's now like very, very long
the
time
director's
later.
cut of Aliens, I would like to know. Anyway, carry on.
Yes. So, in Alien Isolation, they find the Nostromo and take it aboard the space station, which is where the alien gets out and hijinks ensue. But you find the remains in the Nostromo, and then, because Ripley's daughter is trying to figure out what happened to her mother. So she goes into that AI room and sits down, and you see in first person that computer terminal where she has the exact same realization that her mother had.
Okay, gotcha.
Where she was like, no.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I need to play that game,
So
man.
it's the same twist from a different perspective, but they mean different things to different characters.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to do.
And again, yeah. And this one also, it is hinted at before because they keep talking about how, like, they want to open this, like, basically a company town in space, which also, again, fucking very, very real.
Yep.
They want to open a company town in space, and they can't do it in time because of these regulations, these safety regulations. And so the board is basically, like, about to, like, oust the current CEO or whatever, because they're like, you need to fucking get this project. This is the entire future of this company.
But what
is having this company town.
This isn't even the CEO's evil plan. He asked an AI to make up scenarios. Oh my god,
yes, this is genius. He fucking went to ChatGPT and said, how do I overturn this bill that was passed in Congress? And the AI is like, here's the best options, and also I can't draw hands. Actually, I think they did fix the drawing hands thing, but still, whatever. Fuck the AI shit.
The AI Juno ran several scenarios on different tragedies, world events that could get legislation passed. The AI predicts the tragedy will also reverse the declining VT stock.
God, it's so fucking...
It's a great reveal.
This one is predicting the future. This one was only, like, 6 years away from, like, the ChatGPT will make these, like, decisions thing. Such a good reveal.
ChatGPT told us which country to invade.
Yeah, basically, dude, that's where, like, it is just like a moment of, like, just a little bit extra color in this would just be like, oh, one of the options the AI recommended, like, we drop the station into, like, a small country and start a global thermonuclear war so that everyone has to live in our fucking space colony. Like, that is, and yeah, he is just like, which, by the way, Also, just to me is a great. Again, I like the world building of this game.
Mhm.
Great little bit of satire that the CEO, who is supposed to be in that position because he's great at business decisions, goes to an AI and says, "Solve this." Like,
How do I reverse stock?
yeah,
How do I make bad
it's,
number be good?
yeah. I think it is said that like he's not even the original CEO. He's like the CEO's son, right?
Yeah,
Like not that,
they
like
have a they
CEOs
have
are
this.
great, but he's like a fail son.
Yeah, and he if you open up the dartboard in the recreation area, you can
Yeah, I
see the
did.
CEO's picture on the dartboard. Did you throw darts at the CEO before you knew any
Oh yeah, I threw a
context?
dart at the CEO. I threw a dart at the CEO,
Yeah.
100%.
I was like, "Who's this rich dude? I'm gonna throw darts at his
Yeah,
face."
it's like it is the Always Sunny. I've had enough of this dude.
Rule of thumb: whenever you see a bunch of pro-union crew members have a dartboard of some guy, you also throw darts. Pretty safe
Oh,
assumption there.
100%.
Let's see. So the rescue craft was canceled. It says circumstances were be outside your concern, not like beyond a realm of possibility. They're not a concern to you, which is great.
No, again, so fucking good. All of that is so fucking real. Love it.
Uh, but yeah, going back, Sarah has a non-reaction to this. She's just standing there. I would like just something. Give me a performance.
Yeah, it's again, man. There's just it feels like something's missing. Going
Yeah,
back to what we said, or I said at the beginning, it just feels like there's something that's not there, and I don't know why.
this game is like 90% there for me. It needs a nut like. It just needs
Yeah,
more.
there's just something, man, and I'm not. I just don't know what it is.
So,
I like. I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not gonna, backseat write the game here. Like I
yeah,
don't want to do that. I just really feel like there's just something more that I wanted.
yeah.
And I don't know.
The ending kind of wraps up pretty fast here. So you find out that she was able to restore Sarah was able to restore comms and send a distress signal, and that's where we think is going to be our ending. We pull out Odin and then we walk towards. We go back to the main
Well,
entryway. Here.
there's something else I want to note, which is that you do wake up you wake up the people who are in cryo. You actually do get to see like 6 hours ago, you get to see them all back together again and leave.
Yeah,
It should be noted that the way they're about to leave, they're getting a ride with Carnival. So I don't know how I feel about it's like another corporation is gonna save them.
it's
Just and probably just use it as a PR move.
yeah.
Which
It
maybe is part of the
literally is
satire, but I felt
Yeah.
like I don't know.
It literally is a PR move, but they have to reload for a while. But you find out that the chain was that Sarah sent the audio files to Nat, who sent the audio files to. There's a little bit of a subplot with her being friends with this guy who has an online dog profile picture, who's like a whistleblower for these corporations.
Oh, yeah, that was fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of was, and it's funny that it suddenly comes back to be very important in the end.
I was like, this guy keeps showing up. Is he important? Turns out yes, because he has connections to the press, because he's sort of like this union whistleblower who sends out the audio files to the press so that they leak it. So, if they are killed, that makes that corporation look bad, but they should probably stay out of the public eye just in case.
Yeah, and also it's been noted like this has already happened. So this is one of those things where like the information has been kept from you, the player, because this is kind of like gone. This might have even been happening like as you were fucking well, not the escape was not happening as you were docking. Again, they were already gone. But like the word might be out already that like this crew has survived after an attempted murder by the company they work for.
Like the news may have dropped as you were boarding the ship and were cut off.
Right. And so like it is kind of funny that like it doesn't change it necessarily.
Or
well, no, I mean it does because
because the word would have to know, because the reveal is you are there to liberate the AI that was left on the station, and you're getting there before the corporation comes and takes their AI to wipe.
Right, but you were hired by the corporation.
Oh, you're
right?
you're
like,
posing as a pro corporation contractor.
right, and so the corporation VT. I keep saying corporation. You ever seen
Yeah.
the movie Rollerball?
No.
Rollerball's not a very good movie, but it's a dystopian future, and I remember watching it with my old roommate Adam, and we just laughed every fucking time. All they ever say is the corporation over. Like, if you play a drinking game where every time they say the corporation, you will be dead, even if you're drinking like Bud Light. They say it so much. But VT.
I love organizations with simple name. Mission Impossible does this with the Syndicate.
Oh, I was thought you were about to say the IMF, which I did not realize until the new movie literally means Impossible Mission Force. That is so fun. There is that great scene in the new movie where they just have a whole meeting where it basically is them saying to the viewer, okay, here is what the IMF is, because it's gotten a little, like, stupid, and, like, also how, and by the way, I love this movie, but they're like, here's what it is, and also, yeah, it's a little ridiculous that an agent could choose not to accept a mission. That means they're not a very good agent. Like, like, they kind of have to address it. Anyway, So yeah, you get to, like, see them all leave, and then, yeah, there's the reveal that you've been doing this all to, liberate Odin.
I was expecting there to be a choice here. I was expecting you can be like...
I thought for sure!
I was like, you're gonna plug the AI in, and I thought you would be given the choice of your ship AI, or Odin. And I thought that would be the final...
Yeah.
Like, you hit
I
the
thought
button.
It was for sure gonna be like, after seeing this, do you still want to be a corporate stooge, or do you want to try to take down VT? And, which for the record, I do maintain that, like, it's a good thing they don't show us what happens after, because typically a corporation goes through some bad PR and then they're fine afterwards. Let's just be real. But, like, I don't know how... I wasn't a huge fan of the reveal that you were an undercover agent the whole time. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't hate it.
I think it's fine. It was a moment of, oh!
Yeah. Well, because I felt like it was a moment of, well, the only way to win is not to play, because I don't want to give Odin to the fucking Megacorp. So I don't want to go back on that ship.
But then
so I guess they did that because they knew people would feel that way as well.
Yeah. And I guess having, like, a final twist at the very end, they know immediately it wouldn't matter because people would just, like, restart, continue their last save, and then just see the other ending. So
yeah,
maybe having a
fair.
definitive ending was the right choice. But
yeah, I think it works. I that one I'm not gonna. Of all the issues I have with this game, that is like the bottom. You know what I mean? Like that, yeah. I'm okay with it. That's fine.
So then we roll credits.
And yeah, I was about to say that's it. Oh, you do get to. It is funny. You do give Odin a choice, and he's like, they're gonna fucking kill me if I go back to them, like the AI version of being killed. So can you please not do that? Yeah, it was fun to have Odin be a non-evil AI. I'll definitely say that, especially because, let's be real, the upside down pyramid with an eye very much gave off the vibe of, like, this guy's gonna be evil. And I mean that as a compliment to the developers. They were like, what would an evil AI look like? And they came up with this, and it's like, but he's not gonna be evil.
He's blue. That means he's a good AI. Everyone knows that red AI is the bad AI.
You got it.
Whenever they turn red, that means they have evil intentions.
Yeah, we've all seen iRobot starring Will Smith. Do you think, speaking of drinking games, do you think if... Yeah, we've all seen that. Do you think if the listener were to drink every time we reference the movie over the course of the last...
We've referenced a lot of movies.
We've referenced a lot of... Well, in fairness, and I guess I'm sure we get into the final talks, but, like, this game pulls from a lot of movies, and there's always that inevitable, like, how original can this be when it's pulling from so many sources?
That's fair. That's a good point.
I do think the really building the labor stuff into the lore, essentially, that does separate this a bit more from the other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, not entirely. Like, if you do watch John Carpenter's Dark Star, they address that too, where, like, they definitely deal with, like, a megacorp like that. But yeah, I thought I heard something. Yeah, I guess I didn't love all these characters. I didn't think it was that new, and I won't go into how the gameplay. I'm not super into it forever. Everything about this game to me was fine, except the world building, which I will 100% give, like, a lot of credit. I really liked that particular corporate dystopia that they constructed.
Yeah.
But also, even, like, the interior of Tacoma was not that interesting to me, if I can be honest. Like, I don't want to trash someone's hard work. I don't know, Michael, like, maybe, I think you really sold it last time. Of like, okay, the guy in charge of the studio is a piece of shit. Presumably, like there were some good people who worked there, and maybe there's some shitty people who worked there as well. But like, let's see what could have been. And between this and Gone Home, I'm not sure that we're missing all that much, and that is maybe too mean. I will grant you, but I was not super enthused.
Man,
I'm sorry.
I come out of the other side of this going, if they had another chance to make something, would this have been because again, I really like this. I liked the pacing of the story. I liked how the reveals were done. I liked the cutscene direction and how things overlapped with each other. I thought this was like really, I guess, like the nicest criticism you can have of art is that you want more of it, and that's ultimately where I end up going. I like what I got. I think I would have loved it if I got more.
I suppose, yeah, in some ways I'm just the opposite here, where I'm like, I just didn't want more of this. I was very kind of relieved when it was over. Not relieved, that's a bit too much, but I was like, I don't want to be mean. Again, I feel like I've actually been relatively positive over this, but I said this to you without like, again, we try not to text each other before recording. I straight up said, like, when we were planning this new recording after, your AC went out and all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, we got to record, like, because Tacoma is already fading from my mind. And that might be very harsh, but for me, it's just kind of forgettable. I'm sorry. And maybe that's, like, the harshest thing I could say about it. It is just very forgettable to me.
And maybe it will be for me. Maybe in 2 years I'll forget all of Tacoma. But where it sits right now, being like the more recent things I played, I'm happy. I'm happy we played this. I'm happy we did a deep dive on this. I enjoyed my time with it.
I'm glad, but for opposite reasons. I'm glad to know that, like, for me, Gone Home, which I think I think Gone Home is fine. I think it's fine, but I don't really care for it. And also, it does go to show that, like, the discourse around Gone Home, in my opinion, was just so overblown. Just a bunch of absolute fucking chuds. Who, yeah, it's like, this was the game y'all were fucking rioting about. You know what I mean? Like, this was the game. And I feel that way with this. I'm like, yeah, I guess I just don't really care for this style. And before anyone says, like, well, yeah, it's not your genre, I do love, like, Firewatch, which I think actually does have a very good story, very good narrative. And I do really like What Remains of Edith Finch, which is very experimental. And again, it made me cry. And I think about Edith Finch and Firewatch every now and again. And I just don't know if I will ever think of this again, except that time I was on this show, honestly.
This game, what it's lacking is emotional weight. There's no emotional weight.
Yes, it has none. In my opinion, it has none.
It has none.
Straight up, that's the harshest I can say. But like,
I see this as a really interesting sci-fi short story, but it's not going to. When I think of like the great sci-fi like video games, this is not going to touch anywhere near any of them. It was a cool thing. I wish I got more out of it. One thing I will recommend to you, a game I'll recommend to you based on this game and what you liked about more the investigation stuff and the mystery of what's going on. There's a game for you, and I'm going to recommend it to you too, listeners. This one I want to do eventually for the show. Return of the Obra Dinn.
Michael, why are you recommending my favorite game of the year it came out?
Okay, so...
I love Obra Dinn.
Yeah.
I fucking love Obra Dinn so much.
Great.
Obra Dinn is a phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal.
When you were explaining what you didn't like... When you were explaining what you didn't like about this, I'm like, if he hasn't played Obra Dinn, he will love Obra Dinn.
Yeah, actually, I think that might be a good way of saying it, because I'll say this much. If you actually look at the plot of Obra Dinn, it's not very interesting. It is entirely, like, the mechanics of that game carry it.
Yes.
And by the way, I know you're about to, like, I'm sure you're thinking, like, what do you mean Obra Dinn's not interesting? It is interesting. I'm just saying that the plot, if you just outline, these are the events that happen, not, like, insane, right? Like, just kind of, like, interesting.
It's like an Indiana Jones story got from... sort of thing.
But it also is literally the same thing. You are an investigator. This ship has come back. None of the crew is on it. Find out what happened.
The interpersonal stories are what matter for that thing, not the broad strokes of the story.
Yes. That game is fucking fantastic. So actually, yeah, that's a good recommendation. I would love to, if you ever do an episode, I mean, I guess not me, find someone who hasn't played it before. But, like,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic game. It really is. I love Oberdin.
It's so good.
Also, I do want to note that, like, well, if it seems like I'm being harsh, I really do hope all of the fucking developers who left that studio land on their feet or have landed on their feet. Just to be clear. Like,
there's a lot of talent here.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hey, man, sometimes you get a lot of talent together, you get a lot of talented people, and then you make an Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You know what I mean? Like,
that movie was alright.
It's fine. Actually, I would say it's so whatever. It's like, I think Crystal Skull's probably the technically worst movie, but I'm going to remember Crystal Skull more. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is the Tacoma of movies. I am definitely, like, I am not going to, like, retain any of it, even though it is technically competent and, like, fine, and there's a lot of talented people behind it, people I like. But, like, it's just so blah, and it's surrounded by a genre that is actually just has a lot more going on in other, whatever. Anyway, Michael.
We got to end this game club on a movie reference.
We have to, although real quick, I do want to go back to the epic rap battles of history just briefly.
Oh, no.
So I'm on the Wikipedia page for it. So Darth Vader versus Hitler.
Was a 3-parter.
What episode, like, how many episodes in do you think they were before they did that one?
2.
Yep.
Yep. I was an avid fan for the first, like, 3 seasons.
Were you really?
Yep.
I want to just read off the first, like, couple episodes of this for the listener.
We're going along. You got 30 seconds.
All right. John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, number 1. Number 2, Darth Vader versus Hitler. Number 3, Abe Lincoln versus Chuck Norris. Number 4, Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga. Number 5, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man versus Kim Jong-il. This was such a weird era. Anyway, that's the end of that.
2010 YouTube was a great time.
Fucking... Why would you put Mr. T versus Mr. Rogers? That's not whatever.
I like that one. I remember liking these, but I haven't gone back and watched them in like 10 years. So
yeah. Well.
So scheduling wise for Save the Save, things are a little weird for a little bit because this one's arriving late. Our next game club will be in the coming weeks. Will be when it's supposed to air. So there's gonna be an extra week between episodes. That's when the prep is gonna be for our next game. I'll go ahead and reveal it here, but I'm gonna skip the prep work. Wolfenstein: The New Order. We are gonna be playing the first 8 chapters for part 1 and the remaining game for part 2. John is gonna come back to do some good old fashioned Nazi killing with me as we discuss the crazy story of Wolfenstein.
One of my favorite shooters of the last decade, straight up. So I'm looking forward to your discussion on it.
All right. So Stay of the Save can be found on outside the show on TikTok and Instagram. No, sorry, TikTok and YouTube for crazy show clips and shenanigans. If you actually want show updates, go to Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. Screw you. And Instagram.
You're defying the president of South Africa as of like 2030 or whatever.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry. That's where you can find us for like show updates and all of that, and interact with us if you want to outside the show.
South Africa, the country of South Africa was renamed to Y in 2035.
Cutting this off. This episode's going too long. Sorry. Stay the Save. Can be found on this. I lost my train of thought. SaveTheSave@gmail.com for emails and just to interact with us and complain. I've got to call this. Tanner, thank you so much for joining me. I'm broken.
Pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
I haven't. My brain's been like fried after your Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is the Tacoma of movies take.
I love Harrison Ford, but I'm sorry, man.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. And
James Mangold is a competent director. He's made good pictures before, but like, this just didn't hit.
Stay safe out there.